Tonight from Cowboy Stadium, it's the UIL Class 3A Division I Championship game presented by State Farm. It's a battle of unbeaten. The Chapel Hill Bulldogs and the Alvarado Indians, both 14-0, as they battle it out for the state championship. Glad you could be with us tonight. Here in Arlington at Cowboy Stadium, there is an electric atmosphere as these two teams prepare for kickoff. As you take a look geographically where these two schools are, they have both traveled from opposite ends of North Texas to meet here in Arlington, about 250 miles apart, about 3 hours apart. These two teams are ready to butt heads tonight. As you take a look at the road to the playoffs for these two teams, Chapel Hill, which is returning to the state championship game for the second consecutive season, won a squeaker last week over West Columbia, while the defending state champion Henderson was eliminated by Alvarado. I'm Pete Steinlow with Scott Garner, and glad you could be with us here at Cowboy Stadium. Scott, as we take a look at the two quarterbacks tonight, one has thrown a lot more than the other.
Well, they have. You know, you take a look at Chapel Hill. This is a ball club that lives and dies really by the pass. Their short passing game is a lot like most teams' running game. But when you take a look at Kenny West and Alvarado and the Indians, this is a club that does a lot of things with the I formation. They rely on Kenny West not to make mistakes. It's one thing that he has grown up with since last year. He tried to do a little bit too much in the postseason. Now he's allowing other things to take place, and he's not forcing balls.
Alvarado loves to run the football, and Wayne Onderdonk has been doing it a lot for the Indians. He's rushed for nearly 3,000 yards this season. Tyler, Chapel Hill, they can also run well, but it's more running back by committee.
Well, it is, you know, one thing about Jay Reagan, he doesn't look like he's a big bruising back. He can not only run outside the tackle, but when you talk about running inside the tackle, I don't know that there's a better guy running right now than him. But they've got three guys that have over 1,000 yards.
Reagan also has 19 touchdowns this season. Chapel Hill's been a high-scoring team. The impressive thing about Alvarado is the way they play defense. They allowed 13 points last week in their victory over Henderson. That's only the second time this year they've allowed the opposition to score in double digits.
I've not seen a team that creates 3 turnovers a game, but that's what Alvarado does. They have a defensive back who's also their best wide receiver in Bates, who's got 8 picks. And this is a secondary that creates more turnovers than any team I've seen this year. They flow to the football. One of the things that they preach on their coaching staff, they grade out film and they grade effort. It's not about necessarily being in the right spot, but are you flowing to the ball, and they'll do it tonight.
How much of a factor will nerves be tonight?
It's going to be a huge factor, Pete. You know, Alvarado has not been here before. They have not won a state title ever. They've never been in a state title game. Chapel Hill now, their coaching staff will admit when they came into Cowboy Stadium last year, they were a little overwhelmed. The coaching staff. We're not talking about just the players. So you can imagine Alvarado's in here. They've never won a state title game. The nerves are flowing right now.
Chapel Hill got off to kind of a slow start last year in the game against Henderson. How important is it for them to get off to a fast start tonight?
It's more important that Alvarado get off to a fast start because Chapel Hill has the offense to overcome something like that. The one thing that Chapel Hill's worried about is keeping the points down because they've allowed over 40 points 2 times this year.
John Nelson and Mike Stern are here to report from the sidelines, and they've got a pregame report ready for us.
Oh, Pete, the Alvarado Indians come in red hot, a perfect 14-0. 1 point this year, they were ranked as high as number 6 in the state in the final AP Class Top 10 poll. Alvarado went deep last year, losing to Henderson, but a little revenge last week as they outscored the defending state champions by 3 touchdowns. In fact, their average margin of victory this year in the postseason play, a eye-popping 38 points. Head coach Jeff Dixon has done a nice job in Alvarado the last 3 years with a combined record of 33-7. Mike, they had quite a play advantage over Henderson. Total number of plays against the Lions last week in the first half, 40-15. If Alvarado runs the table tonight, they would become the first team in Johnson County to win a state championship since 1920 when Cleveland was declared a co-champion along with a team out of Houston. Alvarado is perfect, so are the Chapel Hill Bulldogs.
Couple of 14-0 teams. Just one quick comment here. You can feel the excitement pulsating on the floor here of Cowboy Stadium. We have a huge crowd, and they are standing right now. Standing. Chapel Hill returning to the championship game. Last year, they lost. Now, head coach Thomas Sitton, like every parent that we know, wants to keep his kids from watching too much TV. He claims, and so do a number of his coaches, that it took them a full quarter, to not look at that giant scoreboard that everybody's heard about here at Cowboy Stadium above the field. He felt that it took their focus away from the game. He's not saying that that's the reason they lost a year ago in the 3A championship game, but all he's saying is that they need to focus on the game for 4 quarters and possibly into overtime. Kicking it right back up to the press box, folks.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. We'll be hearing from both John and Mike. There's Thomas Sitton, 32-7 at Chapel Hill. He's got his team back at Cowboy Stadium for the 2nd consecutive year playing for the state championship. And I've got to think that that experience last year with a senior-laden team, that favors Chapel Hill.
It does. You know, we mentioned in the open, Pete, that this Chapel Hill team makes its living moving the ball, and that's what they want to do tonight. Not only do they want to do it, but they want to be proficient in doing that. They have to limit the penalties. That at times has been somewhat of a problem for them, but they know that they have to key on Alvarado's running game. If you've not seen Alvarado run this year, if you've not seen this team, what I think is going to be interesting is to see how Kenny West handles the pressure. And you say, well, why do you say that, Scott? Because Kenny West is a quarterback of the I formation. They don't rely on him to do what Avery Sines does for Chapel Hill. That's true. They want West to not make mistakes. But the key for him is, can he sell the play fake? Can he make certain that he doesn't come out of there too early? He's got to sell that to the linebackers, who might be the fastest score of linebackers that Alvarado has faced. The play-action pass has worked for Alvarado in the past, but in order for it to work, West has to be patient.
We mentioned Alvarado and their great defense. They've only allowed 26 points in the playoffs. Chapel Hill won the toss and will receive, but I got to think for Alvarado, their best defense tonight might be a good offense and keep that Chapel Hill offense on the bench.
All Alvarado needs in this first half, Pete, they need about a 10-minute first drive. That's what they would love to have, right? They just consume an entire quarter.
But Chapel Hill will receive, so we'll see if the Bulldogs can get off to a better start than they did last year against Henderson, and I got to think that's something they've really focused on over the course of this week.
Well, Wayne Underdog comes in. You know, you look at his numbers. He is a north and south runner. Needs 113 yards to reach 3,000 for the year. Coming in 5,678 career rushing yards for big number 7, Wayne Underdog. That's 9 yards per carry. And I was thinking about running backs across the state who are just game changers like Underdog, and I tried to think of one, but I could only think of one, and that's Jonathan Gray over at Aledo, who's got 59 rushing touchdowns. Underdog has half of that, but hey, 28 ain't too bad.
We're ready to go with this Class 3A Division I state championship game. Glad you could be with us, whether on the Texas channel or via the internet tonight. 2 unbeaten teams. And Alvarado will kick off. Gabriel Favela Sarbia is kicking off. And back deep receiving the opening kickoff for Chapel Hill is Andrew Tucker. Tucker waits at the 10-yard line. The state championship game is underway. It's a short kick, fielded around the 35-yard line and returned to the 36. It's only a return of 1 yard for DeVaron Dean, the senior. But it's good field position for the Bulldogs to start this game. Take a look at the starting offense here for the Bulldogs as they huddle on the sideline. See the offensive lineman, the center, Candace Wade. The quarterback is Avery Sines. It's a shotgun formation. Tucker lined up in the backfield, takes the handoff from Sines, trying to spin through a tackle, is down around the 43-yard line. Here's a look at that front 5 for the Chapel Hill Bulldogs: Smith, Hamilton, Wade, Valdez, and Orpineda. The eligible receivers are Tucker, Allen, Onwuzu, Kincaid, and Henderson. Sines is the senior quarterback. Tucker is lined up to the right of Sines. Trey Allen is in a slot on the left side. Over the middle and down at the 44-yard line. That's Nelson Onwuzu, the leading receiver for Chapel Hill this season, catching a short pass. Here's a look at the defensive starters for Alvarado: Castillo, Fuller, and Adams up front. The linebackers, Johnson, Gentry, Villarreal, and Thomas. And in the secondary for Alvarado, it's Legger and Bates on the corners. McNeil and Holbert are the safeties. And Chapel Hill moves into Alvarado territory. Tucker carrying it to the 45-yard line and has a first down for the Bulldogs.
I tell you what, Pete, I have not seen a team have the quarterback look at the sideline while the ball's being snapped. That is as tricky as it gets.
Intentionally deceptive. A direct snap to Tucker while Signs was looking at the sideline. We see that every week. Quarterbacks looking at the sideline to get the play call. Defenses can be caught off guard. Tucker takes the handoff here, but there's not much running room. And in on the tackle for the Indians is Villarreal, the linebacker, and he makes a lot of tackles for this Alvarado team.
Tell you what, Andrew Tucker, a big running back. He came in with 1,009 yards, one of 3 running backs that Chapel Hill had in that department. His brother, by the way, plays running back at TCU, but he's 190 pounds, and he's quick. I love the way he's shifty back there.
Villarreal had 132 solo tackles coming into this game and assisted on 53 others. Signs is back to pass. Pressure coming from the backside. He delivers the pass out of bounds. The pressure was coming from Ronald Thomas.
Man, and was it coming? This is a guy who is always smiling every day in practice for Alvarado. He's been there all 4 years, very athletic, and he was in hot pursuit. I'm surprised he didn't get him.
It looked like right about here, Signs is going to be sacked for sure, but he was able to get the pass away, and no call for intentional grounding. Out of the pocket, got it beyond the line of scrimmage. Still a scoreless tie early in the first quarter. This is 3rd down and 9 for Chapel Hill. They're at the Alvarado 45-yard line. Signs, still looking at the sidelines, will receive a shotgun snap. Signs back to pass, but a whistle stops play. And there's a timeout taken here early in the first quarter with 9:43 to play in the opening stanza. Chapel Hill takes a timeout facing 3rd down and 9 on the opening possession of the game. They've reached the Alvarado 45. The drive started at their own 36-yard line after a short kickoff.
Yeah, they're going to be depending on Signs here to make a play. And Chapel Hill right now needs a little bit of a play. I think advantage Alvarado at this point. 3rd down and long. They have now forced the Bulldogs into their first timeout. One thing you like, though, about Signs, he will find a target, and rarely does he miss. He's got 18 touchdowns, Pete, and just 4 picks, and he is very poised under pressure. Some teams have tried to blitz him. They have a hard time getting to him, and we just saw right there on that last play. I thought for certain that the end was going to sack the quarterback, but he wouldn't let him.
Onwuzu has been his favorite target, and he went to him in pressure situations last year in the state championship game against Henderson. 3rd and 9 at the Alvarado 45. Signs throws it over the middle, underneath for Tucker. Tucker to the 40, and he is tackled. It appears to be shy of a first down.
He's thrown 2 screens to Tucker on this opening drive, and now, quite honestly, the Bulldogs have a little bit of a decision to make. Do they want to keep the offense out there on 4th down and short, or do they want to give it to Alvarado?
The percentage play is to punt here, isn't it?
It is, but it looks like they're going to keep the offense out there. And with this offense, I'm not really surprised to see this.
Trey Allen has enough for the first down. So a gamble early in the game for the Bulldogs, but it pays off.
You had 2 gambles there, Pete. You gamble that you go for it, and then you gamble that you have a wide receiver in Trey Allen taking a wildcat snap.
Yeah.
I think having the wide receiver back there is more of a gamble than actually going for it.
Well, we've seen Allen line up in the slot, but he's listed as a running back, but we have not really seen him in the backfield until that play. Jay Reagan is now in the backfield along with Signs. And Reagan, their leading rusher, carries it down to the 25-yard line.
You know, he got a few extra yards, and that's because Tyler Bates is in there. He wasn't really going for the tackle. He was going for the strip. Remember, this is an Alvarado team that creates 3 tackles a game, and they were hoping to get it there. You also had Ronald Thomas in there as well. I want to mention this too, Pete, that Avery Signs missed 6 weeks of action this year because of a broken leg. The district MVP may, in fact, be his backup.
Reagan up the middle. It's a short gain for Reagan, picking up 2, maybe 3 yards on the carry. And it's Villarreal who makes the tackle for the Bulldogs.
And I'd kind of like to go back to that, Pete. You know, Anthony Kincaid, who's number 16 for this Bulldogs team, he's got 21 catches as a wideout, but he came in to spell Signs when their starting quarterback broke his tibia earlier this year. Kincaid was outstanding.
He's lined up wide to the left. The give is to Reagan. He bounces to the left side. Kincaid throwing a block for him as he's tackled at the 11-yard line. Making the stop for Alvarado is Andrew Legger.
This is an extremely nice opening drive, and if you think that maybe this is something that, you know, could put Alvarado away early because they've got so many guys going both ways because this is a 3A team, well, put that thought in the back of your mind because they don't. Put it away, in fact. Alvarado rarely has somebody going both ways. They really stay fresh in there defensively.
1st and 10 from the 14 to give to Tucker. Tucker with a gain of about 3 yards, close to the 11-yard line. He's brought down.
That's Adams right there making that nice play in the middle. Adams, a senior tackle. He's got 6 sacks. You know, when you add up the numbers, Pete, the front 4 for Alvarado, they've got 25 sacks on the year.
They've put a little bit of pressure on Signs, but it's been an effective running game for the Bulldogs here on this opening possession. And the give is to Tucker running right. Tucker around the corner to the 5. Tucker into the end zone for a Chapel Hill touchdown. Chapel Hill takes a 6-0 lead over Alvarado in the Class 3A Division I state championship game. An opening drive that consumes nearly half of the first quarter.
An Alvarado type drive, to be real honest with you, Pete. You know, you notice Tucker, how quick he is to bounce it outside. They say he is as fast with his pads on as he is with them off. That's incredible.
So on to try the point after attempt now is Tyler Brown. Brown's kick is blocked. It can be returned for 2 points. Villarreal hemmed along the sideline, and he'll only get to about the 25-yard line. The Bulldogs have to settle for a 6-0 lead with just under 7 minutes to play in the first quarter. You're watching the Class 3A Division I state championship game from Cowboy Stadium in Arlington, presented by Time Warner Cable Sports.
Aaron, you're all set.
Great, thanks.
Mike, thanks for doing that discount double check. You saved us hundreds.
What was that?
The discount double check? It's when we comb through your policies to make sure that you're getting all the discounts you deserve.
No, I get that part, but you guys are doing my move.
The discount double check move?
It's my touchdown dance.
So you're a dancer?
No, I'm a quarterback.
Oh, quarterback.
More.
I'm a robot. Get out of here.
Aaron Rodgers got his. How about you?
Rodgers! Discount double check!
Get to a better state. State Farm.
Crunchy DQ steak fingers and crispy fries. Texas toast and gravy, just $4.99. 4-piece DQ baskets thrill my soul. Just like a soft serve sundae in a waffle bowl. For the best treats, seats, and drinks and better value. Nothing tastes better than a trip to DQ. DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
Academy Sports and Outdoors has something for everybody on my list.
They make holiday shopping easy, real easy.
Perfect.
They're both a great price. How's this? Even better. Where can I find some Wolverine boots? Right over this way.
Gift card?
Get Polar Edge Fleece Zips. Hot deal, $12.99. Columbia Fleece, just $21.99 to $34.99.
The right gifts, the low prices every day.
Welcome back to the UIL State Championship Class 3A Division I, presented by State Farm. Chapel Hill, with an impressive opening drive, has taken a 6-0 lead as we take a look at the 11-yard touchdown run by Andrew Tucker.
A nice run right there by Tucker, getting to the outside. The one thing that we saw, though, was the patience by this Chapel Hill team. As coaches say, they just took what was given to them. We know that this is a very aggressive Alvarado defense, and there were two very important screen passes that set up a couple of big first downs for them.
Remember, they converted a 4th down on that 12-play, 63-yard drive that took more than 5 minutes off the first quarter clock.
Yep.
Tyler Brown will now kick off for Chapel Hill. And back deep receiving is Marcus McNeil, who had the last lunging effort at that tackle on Tucker on the Chapel Hill touchdown run. It's a short kick, and a fair catch is called for and made at the 30-yard line as we check in with Mike Stern on the Chapel Hill sideline.
Bulldog head coach Thomas Sitton did exactly what he wanted to do on the opening drive. He said early in the ball game he wanted to establish the offensive flow. He did just that, converting the 4th down conversion, 1st down, getting the ball into the end zone, and now his team is in a great flow. He had the opposing defense on the field. We'll see how it plays out the rest of the quarter. Back to you.
Brazos Fuller made that fair catch, the sophomore defensive lineman, and Alvarado, with quarterback Kenny West, is on the field for the first time tonight from the 30-yard line. A toss to the workhorse running back. West pitching it to Wayne Underdog for a short gain. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Here's the guys blocking up front for Underdog: Glasscock, Sevner, Goff, Munoz, and Camperos. West is the quarterback. The eligible receivers are Hardy, Underdog, Pinkerton, Ellinger, and Gio, the tight end. Kenny West only threw 147 passes coming into this game, only threw 6 interceptions though. And again, they keep it on the ground, and Underdog fighting his way to the 35-yard line and gets pushed backwards by 11 men. The defensive starters for Chapel Hill up front for the Bulldogs: Allen and Bell on the ends, Wallace and Moorhead are the tackles. The linebackers are Garcia, Weeks, and Thompson. And in the secondary, Henderson and Reagan on the corners, Dean and Clark are the safeties.
Yeah, the one thing that Alvarado absolutely doesn't want to do here is go 3 and out on their opening drive. They can't afford to do that after giving up a 12-play opening drive touchdown to Chapel Hill. They've got to keep that defense somewhat fresh.
This is 3rd down and 4 for the Indians. Flags down. West received a high snap, rolls out to the right on the run, pumping twice. He's going to be taken down by Kevin Garcia. Let's check the penalty marker. I think it may be a false start against the Indians.
Well, I think you're right. 2 bad things happened for Alvarado that time. The first was the penalty. The second was a negative play. And I thought that they were going to stop the play initially.
Illegal shift, and it appears as though the Bulldogs will decline the penalty and take the sack.
Now this officiating crew is working its 5th state title game. This crew is out of Houston. They've worked 2 5A games. They've worked 3 4A state title games. This is their first 3A. But again, a negative play occurring here, and I really thought they were going to stop the play, but they didn't. Or did they? I guess they did. They did end up.
They declined the penalty. Yeah. It'll be 4th down. A.J. Castillo is punting for the Indians. Fair catch is called for at the 35-yard line. And the fair catch is hauled in by Nelson Onwuzu. And Chapel Hill has the ball in a 6-0 lead with 5:08 to play. 32-yard punt. No return. So what adjustments does Alvarado make defensively here now that they've seen Chapel Hill?
What I think was interesting is that they went to a 4-man front a couple of times. Alvarado, they over-pursued, which is one of the reasons why the short passing game, particularly the screen game, worked for Chapel Hill the first time. We'll see if Alvarado doesn't settle in a little bit better on defense.
Gabriel Robinson is split out wide to the right. Onwuzu is in a slot on the right side. They keep it on the ground, running to the right, getting to the 40, to the 45, and down at the 46-yard line on the carry for the Bulldogs is Rex Rollins, who needs only 81 yards tonight, become the third rusher on this team with 1,000 yards.
It's incredible, too. You know, we talk about how much Chapel Hill likes to throw the ball, but they do have 3 running backs who can get the job done. Talk about staying fresh.
Again, they hand off. This time they run left, and Rollins gets close to midfield where he's pushed backwards. We'll see where they mark forward progress. Looks like they'll give him the 49-yard line.
Good pursuit there by Xavier Holbert. Holbert, captain of this defense. Boy, he is a valedictorian, too. He's got a 99 grade point average there. Made a big interception, too, against Henderson last week. Again, this Alvarado defense has some picks. He's got 5 alone.
Rollins stays in the backfield. Trey Allen is the wingback on the right side. They run right. This is the quarterback. Avery Signs tripping as he gets to the 40-yard line and down at the 39 of the Indians.
Wow. They rolled the pocket so well that time on a waggle. It almost looked like a sweep. Look at that. He knew early on he didn't have to throw that ball. That looked like a toss sweep.
It's a 19-yard gain for Signs. Just over 4 minutes to play in the first quarter. 1st and 10 at the Alvarado 39. Allen goes in motion to the left side. Handoff and running room to the 30. Spinning out of bounds near the 25-yard line. After taking the handoff is Joseph Clark, a sophomore. Clark this season rushed for 390 yards on 48 carries and scored 5 touchdowns for the Bulldogs.
Well, they're doing everything that they need to do. They're running to the weak side, which is giving them some numbers. They had everybody, every Alvarado defender locked up one-on-one. And boy, when you can match them up like that, it's going to be easy.
Tucker now lined up in the backfield. He takes the handoff and runs right, and he's down at the 20-yard line.
Wow. Boy, Tucker's impressive. He just ran over a man right there. And he will beat you up. You know, he's only played in about 5 or 6 games. He's not 100%. Pete, he's got an ankle injury right now. He certainly doesn't look like it, though.
Tyler Bates was the man that got run over on the play. Tucker again. Carries it down around the 19-yard line.
By the way, this play we just saw, the 18th play that Chapel Hill has run on offense tonight compared to Alvarado's 3 and out.
Alex Gentry making the tackle, setting up 3rd down and 3 for the Bulldogs.
Well, you mentioned Gentry, athletic kid, 137 tackles coming in. Alvarado needs to stop right here.
Allen goes in motion to the left. Tucker takes the handoff. He's dropped in the backfield by Villarreal at the 21-yard line. Takes a loss on the play. It'll bring up 4th and about 5. We've already seen the Bulldogs go for it on 4th down once tonight.
I tell you what, that is a great play by that inside linebacker. He's a converted safety, and he looked like he was running the alley right there. Had 175 tackles and 3 sacks. What a great play right there. That's the play of the game so far for the Alvarado defense.
For the 2nd time tonight, it appears the Bulldogs will go for it on 4th down. Tucker lined up to the right of Signs. Signs back to pass. Has all kinds of time. Throws it down the middle. The pass is complete to Trey Allen, who scores a touchdown.
Boy, what a job by Signs to throw on the run. Boy, he floated that ball up. It almost appeared as though he was throwing it into the bench, but lofted it up for Trey Allen, who they use in so many different ways. They'll line him up sometimes as a tight end. They'll use him as a running back. What a job. He typically is a blocker in their run game, but he proves to be extremely beneficial there on a 4th down conversion.
The point after attempt for Tyler Brown. This time it's good. And the lead for Chapel Hill is 13-0 with 2:15 to play in the first quarter. And our coverage of the UIL Class 3A Division I State Championship game continues.
How do I celebrate the holidays? Oh, I come to the mall, talk about Ford.
This is the new Explorer. It's gorgeous.
Also has something called My Ford Touch, up to 10,000 different commands. Give all the orders.
I like giving orders.
Want to see the Edge?
I love it. I love the big roof.
How about the Escape? 28 miles a gallon is a big deal.
That's a very big deal.
You go with the Escape?
I go with the Escape.
And you like the Edge?
But if you push me, I'll take the Explorer.
Right now, during the year-end celebration, get a Ford Edge with up to $3,000 cash back.
See your best in Texas Ford dealers.
That's me. They used to call me the Fog, as I was everywhere. Guys couldn't tell I was coming until smoked by the fog. You know, nowadays when the Fog can't make it to the game, I watch it with Time Warner Cable. No one brings me more local high school sports, so I never miss a game. That's just how the Fog rolls. Yes, I own a smoke machine.
The most local high school sports, the others can't say that. Time Warner Cable can.
When I met Darius the first time, he just makes you want to smile.
Math and science, robotics, everything combined is awesome.
And my name is Greg. I work at Time Warner Cable, and I volunteer to coach a first robotics team.
This is cool how we get to build our own robot and then program it to do what we want it to do.
Little do they know how much math and science and technology that they're doing by running these programs.
Time Warner Cable employees are inspiring the next generation of problem solvers. Visit connectamillionminds.com to find out what you can do.
Welcome back to Cowboy Stadium in Arlington for this Class 3A Division I State Championship game, and it's all Chapel Hill early on here in the first quarter. The Bulldogs lead 13-0, and it's really been a one-sided affair. Chapel Hill's run about 20 plays, and Alvarado's run 3 plays offensively.
And I guarantee you Alvarado has not been put in this position the entire year. It's going to take some hard-nosed, gut-checking. We need to show some poise for Alvarado to get back in this ballgame, because I tell you what, Chapel Hill, in terms of speed, has the distinct advantage right now. Alvarado's got to show something.
An 8-play, 65-yard drive has given Tyler Chapel Hill a 13-0 lead. And once again on the kickoff, it is short and taken at the 30-yard line. And a good return out across midfield into Chapel Hill territory at the 47-yard line. And on the return is Tyler Bates. Just a 21-yard kick. Here's Signs, who really extended the play, finding Trey Allen.
Boy, did he ever. That's just a real nice throw. A touch lob pass. You don't see many guys, particularly in 3A, that can do that.
The guy that plays here on a regular basis is pretty good at it, Tony Romo. But you're right, that's a pro-like throw.
Yeah.
Alvarado is just 2 yards offensively so far, but they've got good field position. And they'll run a little end around to the right side, forced out of bounds at the 43-yard line is Bates.
You know, little Tyler Bates, you know, he's kind of a speed, talent guy. 11 picks as a sophomore on defense. He's got 8 so far this year, but he's also got 8 touchdown receptions. We'll see if Bates can really strike a chord with this offense. They need a big play.
Let's check in with Mike Stern.
What a story for Trey Allen. A touchdown catch in the championship game. Would you believe a year ago in the championship game, he was a guard. He was playing guard. The coaches worked with him. They made him a skill position player. Just one of the great stories that make up a run to the championship. Back upstairs to you.
On the carry for Alvarado and tackled at the 40-yard line is Wayne Onderdonk.
Onderdonk in 324 carries has only fumbled it 3 times. Problem he's going to have tonight, linebackers filling holes, because right now the linebackers are really flowing to the ball.
3rd down and 3. This offense is not accustomed to trailing 13-0.
Yeah, and they're not accustomed to going 3 and out twice to open a game either. If they don't get it here, it will be 3 and out for the second time.
After beating Robinson the opening week 42-27, they only gave up double digits twice. Running to the right side, not much running room down at the 40-yard line. And game tackled is Wayne Onderdonk. And coming up off the bottom of the pile for Tyler Chapel Hill is Sir Calvin Wallace, the senior defensive lineman.
And I tell you, given field position, I think Jeff Dixon's going to think about going for this.
He doesn't have a lot of choice here, does he?
Well, yeah, it's still a 2-possession game. You got a 13-0 score out there, but your team doesn't have a first down. Can you really put your defense back out there in this position?
It's 4th down and 3 for Kenny West in the Indian offense. West rolling out to the right, being chased, throws on the run, completes the pass, and running into the end zone for a touchdown is the tight end. Jake Gio, the junior tight end, has put the Indians on the board as they convert on 4th down and score a touchdown.
And do it with a gadget play, Pete. I didn't expect the inspector to come out. My gosh. They rolled the quarterback after he handed the ball off, and he gets it to a rumbling, lumbering tight end. That's a prototypical tight end right there, and he secured it, got the score.
DeFerrin Dean got completely turned around on the misdirection, and Gio was wide open. Vela Serbia hits the extra point.
And he carried it in off the upright, too. How about that?
It's a 6-point lead now for Chapel Hill, but on 4th down, watch the gadget play as they pitch it back to West. Gio holds it in. Now he knows how Jason Witten feels.
Hey, Gio couldn't run out of sight in a day, but, man, that's the biggest catch he's had this year.
They timed his 40 with a sundial, but it doesn't matter. He's got 6 points on the board. Well, that's huge for Alvarado because they were in danger of getting blown out here.
Well, it is. You know, it's a big gamble, but sometimes, you know, it's just one of these things where you have to take some chances. And you don't expect a gadget play, and you certainly don't expect it to work in a 4th down and 4 for 40 yards and a score.
A 4-play, 47-yard drive. It was a 4th down play when West hit Gio with that 40-yard touchdown pass. On 4th and 3, the drive consumed 1:28. So we're not quite through the first quarter, and already we've got 20 points on the board. 13-7 in favor of Chapel Hill. There's 38 seconds remaining in the opening stanza. Once again, fearing the big return, the kick is short, and it'll still be good field position for Tyler Chapel Hill. Tucker coming up with the football, and this drive will begin for the Bulldogs at their own 37-yard line.
If you're Chapel Hill, you're just going to kind of shake this off and bring your offense back out because it has been advantage Chapel Hill. I mean, they've owned the tempo. They have owned this football game. I mean, my goodness, their defense has given up 1 first down, for goodness sakes.
Well, a big play that may go overlooked was Tyler Bates' kickoff return that got Alvarado into Chapel Hill territory because you get the sense Chapel Hill would struggle to drive the ball 80 yards on Chapel Hill.
That's a great point right there.
Signs receives the shotgun snap. Hands off, and Reagan runs right, trying to get around the corner, wrapped up at the 40-yard line, and finally brought down along the boundary. Coming in to finish off the tackle for the Alvarado Indians was A.J. Castillo, the senior.
You know, you're seeing why Reagan had such a huge run against Navasota in that ball game. He broke 2 tackles, ran for 65 yards. He's a punishing running back. He's not big. He's a little guy. He's 160 pounds. But he'll break a tackle, and he'll try to run you over.
Marcus McNeil found that out firsthand.
Absolutely.
Reagan running left this time, and he is going to be dropped for practically no gain. And making the tackle is Xavier Holbert.
That's Holbert again coming up from his defensive back position. Holbert, very quick. Remember, this is a guy that had 5 picks coming in.
So we're at the end of the first quarter here at Cowboy Stadium. Chapel Hill up by 6 in the Class 3A Division I State Championship game presented by State Farm on Time Warner Cable Sports.
Aaron, you're all set.
Great, thanks.
Mike, thanks for doing that discount double check. You saved us hundreds.
What was that?
The discount double check? It's when we comb through your policies to make sure that you're getting all the discounts you deserve.
No, I get that part, but you guys are doing my move.
The discount double check move?
It's my touchdown dance.
So you're a dancer?
No, I'm a quarterback.
Oh, quarterback.
More.
I'm a robot.
Where's your
Get out of here.
Aaron Rodgers got his. How about you?
Rodgers! Discount double check!
Get to a better state. State Farm.
Oh, look, we have a voicemail at home.
Hey,
it's Bob from next door. Really wish you would have told me about the party. We can't even get out of the driveway. Hello?
Hey, buddy, it's Dad. The weather was terrible. We're on our way home. Huh? We'll pick up a pizza.
Okay, we'll see you soon.
Never miss a call with home voicemail to email. At Time Warner Cable, we're moving technology forward to bring you back to peace of mind. From Time Warner Cable, fall in love again. We're moving technology forward to bring you back to the magic.
Second quarter action getting underway here at Cowboy Stadium in Arlington, where Chapel Hill is leading Alvarado 13-7 in the Class 3A Division I state championship game. It's 3rd down and 9. Chapel Hill has the ball at their own 39-yard line. Let's check in with John Nelson on the Alvarado sideline.
Oh, Pete, that drive by the Indians is just what the doctor ordered. Last week, they kind of vacated the run and threw the ball against Henderson. It couldn't have come at a better time. Head coach Jeff Dixon knows how athletic Chapel Hill is, and as we say, it couldn't have come at a better time.
Avery Signs receiving the snap on 3rd and 9, drops back to pass, under pressure. Signs is sacked. Signs is sacked for the first time tonight and dropped back at his own 25-yard line. Heavy pressure coming from right up the middle.
Well, a big job by Thomas. Again, a 4-year starter on this team, and he can shoot a gap. He's not even one of the guys up front that had 25 sacks coming in.
Ronald Thomas sacking Signs. They mark it back at the 26-yard line. And for the first time tonight, after converting on 2 4th downs, it appears that the Bulldogs will be forced to punt. And Nelson Onwuzu will handle those chores. Onwuzu gets plenty of time, delivers the punt. It'll take a favorable roll for the Bulldogs down inside the 30, and it is killed at the 36-yard line. That's a punt of 45 yards. That's a pretty good punt for Onwuzu.
Yeah, it's an even better defensive series for Alvarado to hold this Chapel Hill team to 3 and out.
So we're just about a minute into the second quarter. Chapel Hill leading 13-7. Our coverage continues after this on Time Warner Cable Sports.
Crunchy DQ steak fingers and crispy fries. Texas toast and gravy, just $4.99. Pork-based DQ baskets thrill my soul. Just like a soft serve sundae in a waffle bowl. For the best treats, eats, and drinks and better value. Nothing tastes better than a trip to DQ. DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
That's why I don't have satellite. You get a big storm, their signal can go out. You know what that's like?
So I have a hard time trusting. You know, I used to have dreams, and now I have shells of dreams.
Get Time Warner Cable.
Touchdown! Touchdown!
Men need football in any weather. Satellite doesn't get that. Time Warner Cable does.
Alvarado starting this drive at their own 26-yard line, trailing Chapel Hill in the Class 3A Division I state championship game 13-7. We're in the first minute of the second quarter at Cowboy Stadium in Arlington. Pete Stein along with Scott Gardner, Mike Stern, and John Nelson, our sideline reporters. And that is the Alvarado quarterback, Kenny West, who has relied heavily this year on Wayne Underdog. But it was West throwing a touchdown pass to the tight end that put the Indians on the board after falling behind 13-0 in the first quarter. They give it to Underdog. No, it's a play action, and West completing the pass at the 33-yard line. It's a gain of 8. The pass is caught by the leading receiver this season, Austin Ellinger, who had 22 catches for 413 yards and 7 touchdowns coming into the game.
Kenny West just did what Chapel Hill coach Thomas Sitton said coming into this ball game that this Chapel Hill team needed to avoid, and that is getting burned with the play fake, because West is so good at it. The only question was he going to be patient enough to sell it? He sold it that time.
Ellinger had the most receptions. Bates actually had the most yards receiving. I formation, pitch to underdog, running left, cuts back to the inside, finds a little daylight, and gets close to the 35-yard line before he's brought down. It's a gain of almost 4 yards for underdog.
You'll see underdog cut more times in the backfield tonight than maybe in the entire first several rounds of the postseason. I mean, this is how speedy this Chapel Hill defense is. They're not going to let underdog beat them outside the tackle.
Sir Calvin Wallace in on the tackle. Wallace was in on 61 tackles this season coming into the game. Ellinger is flanked out wide to the right side. Now starts in motion to the left. The give is to the fullback running up the middle, and he runs into a stone wall and gets pushed backwards. That's Hayden Walraven on the carry.
That's a quick hitter, but they just couldn't get a push by that offensive line. There were 3 guys there for Chapel Hill and just 2 blockers for the Indians.
Walraven does a lot more work blocking than he does running the football.
The good part is, though, that they move the sticks on it.
Forward progress gets him to the 36, and it's a first down for the Indians.
By the way, this next snap is going to match Alvarado's longest drive of the night so far. This is only the 3rd time they've had the ball. Their last possession was 4 plays and a touchdown.
Underdog is the lone setback. He takes the handoff, finds very little running room, fights forward for a gain of 2.
I tell you what's interesting is they've tried to run the stretch handoff 3 or 4 times, and every time Chapel Hill has flowed to the football so quickly. Underdog just has no room to run. Nothing seems to be effective except the straight handoffs, a little quick hit to the fullback, and the lead plays right now.
Brandon Bell and Chrisman Weeks in on the tackle for the Bulldogs. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Velasquez is the flanker on the right side of the formation, and the pass goes his way. It's complete at the 40-yard line. He's immediately wrapped up but fighting for yardage and gets to the 38-yard line. He'll still be 3 or 4 yards shy of the first down.
What was interesting back in week number 3 for this Chapel Hill, or rather for this Alvarado team, they were playing Prosper. Prosper had such a quick defense that, Pete, they put the game in the hands of West, who threw for 300 yards against Prosper. They didn't run hardly at all against him, but they did most of the damage through the air. That may be the case tonight against this Chapel Hill team.
That was Daniel Pinkerton making the catch. Getting to the 38. 3rd down and 4. The end around coming to the left side, and out of bounds before he has a first down is Tyler Bates. Going to be a yard or 2 short of the first down.
Very, very, very difficult to run east and west against this Chapel Hill team. They try to do it this time with a fly sweep for the first time tonight, but again, they've got 3 guys in hot pursuit. It's a real good job by Chapel Hill to deny the first.
Kevin Garcia and Devin Dean were 2 of the men in pursuit for the Bulldogs. It'll be 4th down and 1 for the Indians, and they may opt to go for it on 4th down.
Pete, they went for it on the Chapel Hill 40 last possession. I wasn't all that surprised. I'm real surprised in a 6-point game they would do this on their own 45.
They only need a yard, and they got Underdog, who's rushed for almost 3,000. He's got a first down and more. Underdog breaks into the secondary. Underdog on the run. He's going to go all the way, and for the 2nd time tonight, they've converted 4th down and scored a touchdown on the play. A 46-yard run.
Unbelievable, Pete. You take a look at that, and they go for it on 4th down. And what was so shocking about it, he had room to run for the first time tonight. He had room to run on a 4th down play. 2 times they've gone for it on 4th. Both have eventuated into Alvarado scores.
A 62-yard touchdown run, and we're tied at 13. So the point after attempt upcoming. after a 56-yard touchdown run. Why there's a little bit of a delay here. Maybe we can look at this underdog run. Remember, this is 4th and a yard needed, and once underdog gets to here, it's just a matter of if he's got enough speed to reach the end zone, and he does.
You know, he's got a man on his trail. He had to make a cut there toward the pylon at the end. He's looking over his shoulder going, wait, I'm not used to guys actually catching me. That's a nice run, though, and I tell you, you go for it 2 times on 4th down, and you score touchdowns off of it. And I want to know what they have been eating. What's in the water over there in Alvarado? You know, John Nelson made a great point. I was reading an article in the Fort Worth Star-Telegram earlier this week, and he's right about that. If Alvarado ends up winning this game, it'll be the first team from Johnson County to win a state title since Cleveland did it back in 1921. This would be incredible for this Alvarado team. Now, PAT right here gives them the lead.
Alvarado has pretty much been a regular in the postseason since about 1991.
Yeah.
Well, here's the point after attempt.
Oh.
And it goes under the crossbar. The kick is no good. We're tied at 13 midway through the second quarter. It's the Class 3A Division I state championship game. Alvarado and Chapel Hill continues after this.
Academy Sports and Outdoors has something for everybody on my list.
They make holiday shopping easy, real easy.
Perfect.
They're both a great price. How's this? Even better. Where can I find some Wolverine boots? Right over this way.
Gift card?
Get Polar Edge Fleece Zips. Hot deal, $12.99. Columbia Fleece, just $21.99 to $34.99.
The right gifts, the low prices, everyday Academy.
Julie's just full of energy.
I love robots.
I'm Lori. I work for Time Warner Cable, and I volunteer as a coach for a robotics team.
We didn't really care if we'd gotten it wrong or not. It was just that we were just proud of our robot and how we had programmed it and worked so hard on it.
There was one point she was white-knuckled, and then all of a sudden it worked, and her eyes just went like this.
Time Warner Cable employees are inspiring the next generation of problem solvers. Visit connectamillionminds.com to find out what you can do.
Did you know that the average American home has 2.93 TVs? That's an average. I mean, if you have a really big house, maybe you got 5. If you're a rock star, you got 15. The point is, with Time Warner Digital Cable, you can watch HD on all of them at the same time. But with AT&T, you're out of luck. They can't handle HD for all those TVs. Sometimes they can't even handle 2. Rock stars have more TVs than that in their bathroom. Could have been a rock star. Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
HD on all your TVs. AT&T doesn't have it. Time Warner Cable does.
Back at Cowboy Stadium, where Chapel Hill raced out to a 13-0 lead. Looked like this might be a blowout early, but Alvarado has come back to tie the game. Let's check in with John Nelson on the Indian sideline.
Well, Pete, the city of Alvarado basically shut down all non-emergency services at 3 p.m. so the town could give this team a super send-off. This may be the biggest crowd ever to see an Alvarado High football game at any level, at any place.
This is a fantastic crowd, and I love the way the Cowboy Stadium was designed with these high school games in mind, because even though this is a huge facility, it's still kind of an intimate setting for this game, and the crowd is close to the action.
Well, you know, you take a look at it, Pete, and now that John mentions it, I'm looking around, and he's right. Look at this place. The lower 2 bowls are almost completely filled. That's what Chapel Hill said last year when they played at Cowboy Stadium. They were just awestruck. 20,000 here. We're talking the coaching staff.
A loose ball on the short kick. We've seen the short kick all night. Has Alvarado recovered, or did Chapel Hill get on top of this football following the kickoff after touchdown? And it appears that the Bulldogs have recovered. Deveron Dean recovers the ball. Let's check in with John Nelson once again. We got John Nelson and Mike Stern down on the sidelines tonight, both reporting on the game. We appreciate the fine work that both of those guys have done throughout the season. It's amazing how fast the football season goes. And the only bad thing about tonight is it'll be the last chance we get to do a football game for a while. Signs takes the snap, hands off, Tucker runs right, Tucker around the corner, he's got a first down, and he's not dragged out of bounds until he reaches the 50-yard line. It's a gain of about 15 yards for Tucker.
Boy, Tucker is so fast. You see why he's got over 1,009 yards. He gets those shoulders square and trying to turn the corner. They were very fortunate to get him by the collar.
Marcus McNeil with a horse collar tackle. From the 50-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. Again, they keep it on the ground, run it right up the middle. It's a gain of 2. On the carry this time, and we're really seeing this Chapel Hill running back by committee, Rex Rollins.
You know what I think is interesting, the powerhouse offense that Chapel Hill has. It'll be interesting to see the numbers at halftime. But they had one game where they gained 700 yards in a single game. They've had 4 600-plus yard games. They can generate offense.
Signs, play action, rolls out to the left, throws, and overthrows his target on Wuzu, who was being covered on the play by Marcus McNeil.
Well, it's the first time really that Signs has been under serious pressure, and I thought the way he threw off his back foot that Alvarado might create a pick, because that's exactly what the Indians try to do. Put pressure on a quarterback, get him out of his game. Nice poise right there by Signs.
The defensive tackle, A.J. Castillo, was right in Signs' face. The football is at the 49-yard line of Alvarado.
Remember, he was out from game 4 to week number 10. But he's playing like a seasoned veteran today.
3rd and 10 for the Bulldogs. Signs completes the pass, and it's Kincaid who gets to the 41-yard line.
And that's one quarterback to another. I mentioned that Signs missed 6 games. That's the guy that spelled him, the guy that just caught that ball, Anthony Kincaid, that came in with 21 catches. And it's the 3rd screen pass now that Chapel Hill has tried to throw against Alvarado. They've all 3 worked, but Alvarado holds them.
4th down and 3 for the Bulldogs. They've converted 2 4th downs tonight, but it appears that Onwuzu will punt.
Bigger line splits, please.
They're pretty far apart. Bates watches it bounce, runs away from it. It will be killed by the Bulldogs at around the 7-yard line, and that's where the Indians take over. 1st and 10, but Alvarado has overcome a 13-point deficit and tied this game at 13. That was a 34-yard punt for Onwuzu.
And not necessarily the length of that punt, but the effectiveness in terms of field position, because Alvarado's backed up. Now, dare I say it, after giving up 20 plays on defense the first 2 times defensively, Alvarado has now forced Chapel Hill into 2 straight 3-and-outs. I didn't know that would happen after Chapel Hill came out and snapped the ball 12 times, and they take it over 60 yards for the touchdown on their opening drive. But here's Alvarado in a tie game.
You saw Jeff Dixon giving the instructions to Kenny West. It's an I formation for the Bulldogs. Onderdonk is the tailback, takes the handoff, has a hole on the left side, trying to spin out of a tackle, but he is wrapped up. He'll be fortunate if he gained a yard as we check in with Mike Stern.
Chapel Hill has had some success on 4th and short yardage situations. They just, however, decided to punt just outside the 40-yard line. They punted it deep into Alvarado territory. They want to give their defense a chance to back Alvarado's offense up close to the goal line. Kicking it back up to you.
Forward progress to the 9-yard line. It's a gain of 2. 2nd down and 8 for the Indians.
That Chapel Hill crowd yelling defense, and I tell you, Kenny West very adept at understanding the game of football. He knows he can ill afford to make a major mistake here.
West throwing to the right side, got Bates, and Bates makes a nice grab at the 30-yard line and is out of bounds at the 31.
Boy, that was a tremendous pass right there. What a great job.
It's a gain of 22 yards and a 1st down for the Indians.
He's averaging about 27 yards per catch when they get it to him. And Bates, a tremendous athlete that, again, had 11 picks on defense last year. He came in with 8.
Bates has also thrown 2 touchdown passes this season.
Wow.
I formation. Onderdonk takes the handoff, running up the middle. Finds a little bit of daylight, but it quickly closes up. And making the tackle for the Chapel Hill Bulldogs is Tyrell Hart.
You know, but what the few completions that we've seen Kenny West have tonight have opened up a little bit of, just a little bit of timing and some spacing in there for Onderdonk to run. Now, he's got to hit a hole and hit it quickly, but still the completions are enabling this offensive line to open up a few more holes here.
Hart's been in on 142 tackles this season for Chapel Hill. West throwing over the middle. The pass is incomplete once again. He was looking for the tight end who caught a touchdown earlier tonight. Jake Gio, the junior, could not make the sliding catch.
And I tell you what, Gio was wide open, and that's the first bad pass that West has made. He looked right, he pumped it once, and he kind of rushed that throw, and he didn't really need to.
I apologize. It was not Gio. It was instead the other junior tight end, Michael Vanderhoff.
You may see a sprint draw or something like that here.
Here's a sprint to the left side.
Oh.
West is sacked. Dropped to the 27-yard line. Sacking the quarterback is Colton Moorhead.
Boy, and Moorhead did a great job of getting to the quarterback. He can get there too. He's big, strong, he's fast. He's going to Northwestern State. He's a D1 kind of guy. He's also played a little fullback for this team, and he looked like a D1 prospect right there. Great job of really reading pass there.
A 6-yard loss on the play, forcing the Indians to punt on 4th and 14 at their own 27-yard line.
You know, it really gave the defense a chance to pin their ears back. I'm surprised that Alvarado even tried to pass there.
Alex Gentry punting it away, fielded a high snap. That's a nice hang time. The punt fielded at the 40-yard line, and there is no return for Onwuzu. A 34-yard punt, but it stayed in the air well over 4 seconds. Just over 3 minutes to play in the second quarter. The Indians and the Bulldogs are tied at 13 in the Class 3A Division I state championship game at Cowboy Stadium. There's a look at the fabulous crowd on hand for this Class 3A Division I state title game. Last year, we had over 20,000 when Chapel Hill lost to Henderson, and there is at least that here tonight. I think this might be a little bigger crowd than what we had last year. It's a quarterback draw for Signs, running right. He's to midfield and has a first down. It's a gain of 11 for the quarterback.
Well, they've got so many weapons. He can run, he can throw. But the offensive line is the real big strength there. A little bit of a hold, that's okay. You know, they'll forgive that occasionally.
Signs did not do a great deal of running this season for Chapel Hill, but he proves that he can be effective on the run. 1st and 10 at the 50-yard line. Signs quick throw to the right side. The pass is complete, and it's a short gain. Onwuzu is forced out of bounds.
Nice, well-conceived wide receiver screen to the short side of the field. Just want to get a guy out on an island.
Tyler Bates is there defensively for Alvarado to force him out of bounds.
Nothing real fancy, but it doesn't allow Alvarado to really just run downhill and play downhill quite as well.
Gabriel Robinson is blocking on the play for the Bulldogs, who have 2nd down and 5. And run to the right side. That Signs again on the run for the 2nd time on this possession. He picks up 1st down yardage.
That's interesting. Sometimes you'll see teams that have such great speed, they're able to morph into another really philosophy. And they've sprinted him out a few times on kind of a waggle or really a dead sprint out. And he's been able to operate. They're allowing him. It's really a double option. They're giving him the option to either pass or run if he so chooses.
It's a 1st down for the Bulldogs, and he got out of bounds to stop the clock with 2:47 remaining in the second quarter at the 39-yard line. A low snap. Signs picks it up, hands it off, running up the middle, and bowling over would-be tacklers is Rex Rollins, the third leading rusher for the Bulldogs, picks up first down yardage.
Well, he was hurt the first game of the year. Somebody came at him on a kickoff. And I tell you what, he has been rolling ever since. He's committed to play at North Texas. He's got tremendous athleticism. Last spring, a lot of those scouts from North Texas came out to watch him and a couple of other players on this Chapel Hill team. But they definitely have speed and size that the D1 schools like.
Chapel Hill is at the 26-yard line of Alvarado, 1st and 10 in the late stages of the second quarter in a tie game. This time, there's only a little bit of running room, but Rollins breaks a tackle and gets a couple of yards out of it.
Nice job, though, by the defensive end, Castillo. He's pretty quick. Teams have a hard time blocking him. He had a hard time wrapping up, though.
Yeah,
did the job.
He thought that tackle was going to be a little bit easier than it proved to be.
Yeah, but that's the common denominator between all three of these backs, Pete. They're able to break that initial hit.
It is going to be a loss of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 12 for the Bulldogs as they're pushed back to the Alvarado 28-yard line. Allen goes in motion to the right side. Signs receives the snap. Hands off. Running room to the right for Tucker. Tucker is forced out of bounds near the 20-yard line. McNeil makes the tackle.
Just a little counter to the weak side here. I tell you, Chapel Hill is in no hurry, really, to get to the line of scrimmage. We've got about $1:32 to go until halftime, Pete. And they really are doing a very good job of managing this clock.
Absolutely. They're doing a good job of getting out of bounds to stop the clock. They're not having to use timeouts at all. This time they give it to Tucker, and he reaches the 14-yard line and has a first down.
Remember, this is a game in which Alvarado found itself down 13-0 after Chapel Hill had it twice, and Alvarado had snapped the ball just 3 times. So for the Indians to even be in this predicament is quite a victory for Alvarado.
They mark him down at the 15, where it's 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs in a 13-13 tie. Just over 90 seconds to play. Running to the left and fortunate to get back to the line of scrimmage is the ball carrier, and that's Rex Rollins.
Wow, that was a great hit, too, by senior lineman Kenneth Adams, who's a track guy. He's real fast. He's got some size on him, too, and he came up and made a pop right there.
Villarreal also in on that tackle. So there is a timeout now, stopping the clock with 59 seconds remaining. Alvarado has all 3 timeouts left. Chapel Hill now with just 1 remaining timeout for the final 59 seconds of the first half.
This is the 4th drive for Chapel Hill of at least 7 plays.
Let's check in with Mike Stern on the Chapel Hill sideline.
Bulldog running back Andrew Tucker, very, very strong bloodlines. He is the younger brother of TCU running back Matthew Tucker. Now, is he going to go to TCU? Well, he's verbally committed to North Texas right now. Tucker, another one of the great stories for the Bulldogs on their march to the championship game. Back to you.
13-13 tie, and Chapel Hill with a chance to take the lead going into the locker room. They're at the 15-yard line, 2nd down and 10. It's so much fun to watch the fans here at Cowboy Stadium for these high school games and how excited they get when they see themselves on the big screen. It is a joyous occasion for fans on both sides, and a night they'll long remember no matter the outcome of this game.
I thought that Alvarado Indian fan was going to come out of his hairdressing the way he was going crazy with a camera on him earlier.
Signs receives the snap, play action, throws it toward the left corner of the end zone. The catch is made, but out of bounds. Anthony Kincaid did not come down inbounds.
The fans are going to boo, but that was a great call by the official on the spot.
We'll get another look at it, but there's no replay review, not even in a state championship game, and he was out of bounds. It's a great call by the officials.
I had a flashback right there, Pete, when I saw him come down. Both feet were out of bounds, but remember the title of John Madden's book, 1 knee equals 2 feet.
Yeah, but the knee did not touch first.
No, it didn't.
He was already out of bounds.
Still equals 2 feet.
It's a great book, by the way. No, it really is. Madden talks about how an offensive line is the heart and soul of a football team.
Well, that's the way it is for Chapel Hill.
Signs drops back. It'll be a quarterback draw. Signs scrambles to the 10-yard line, where he's finally wrapped up and brought down. Making the tackle is A.J. Castillo.
I tell you what, Castillo made the play of the game on defense because he was one-on-one with an island. He came off his wide receiver, and he did a great job of just grabbing him around the waist and bringing him down. That's a tremendous individual play by Castillo. He's 210 pounds.
21 seconds to play. Clock is rolling. This is 4th down and 5 for the Bulldogs, and it appears they're setting up for a field goal. They'll stop the clock with 7 seconds to play in the first half. And Chapel Hill will try to take the lead with a field goal attempt, I would think.
Yeah, I was thumbing through some literature earlier, and I saw where Chapel Hill, you know, they come in 14-0, and so many people were looking forward to that Athens game. The game was played at Athens this year, and they thought, they labeled that game a must-see game, and all Chapel Hill did there in week number 10 is come up with a 64-7 victory against Athens. And at that point,
and we didn't have it on the Texas channel.
It was shocking. I thought, you know, that was a game we could have really played up.
Yeah, that's the kind of games we got all season long.
Yeah.
But this one is tough and tight. Knotted at 13. Let's check in with Mike Stern on the Chapel Hill sideline.
Chapel Hill jumping out to the 13-0 lead. It's now tied at 13. He gave up a couple of big plays for touchdowns, but I can honestly tell you that on the sideline, the players and the coaches remain upbeat. Nobody getting upset, nobody hanging their heads. They're still extremely, extremely enthusiastic about winning this ball game, as they should be. Back to you.
Tyler Brown is setting up for the field goal that would give the Bulldogs the lead going to the locker room. This will be a 27-yard effort. Onwuzu is the holder. It's a good snap. He might have kicked the laces. It spins end over end, and it's no good. So we remain tied at 13 with 3 seconds to play in the second quarter, and I'm not sure that the ball got spun around with the laces on the outside.
Well, you know, a kick of that distance, you could have that thing watermelon style, and it really is about just kicking it with the fat part of the football. But, you know, it's really such a momentum swing here, because Chapel Hill had a 13-0 lead. Alvarado sort of taken control, but you can see that, you know, Chapel Hill has better speed. They have a little bit bigger size, but that doesn't always win football games.
Alvarado just takes a knee here, right? Happy to go to the locker room tied at 13. You don't want to make a foolish mistake.
I think they go into a victory formation here and get to the locker room as fast as they can.
And after falling behind 13-0, a tie game at half feels a little bit like a victory for the Indians.
No
They've
doubt about it.
got themselves back in this ball game, and that missed field goal means we are tied at the break, as West will just drop to a knee after taking the snap. So Chapel Hill jumps out to a 13-0 lead. They ran 20 plays, and Alvarado had only run 3. But the Indians find their bearings, convert a couple of 4th downs, throw a touchdown pass to the tight end, and on 4th and short, Wayne Onderdonk goes on a long touchdown run, and we're tied at 13. Let's check in with Mike Stern.
Head coach Thomas Hitton of Chapel Hill, you're up 13-0. It's tied at halftime. What is your mood going to the locker room right now?
You know, we're proud of the way our kids have played so far as effort-wise. We've just give up 2, 4th down big plays. We've got to allow them not to hit the big play on us.
Any surprises that they've thrown at you so far?
You know, that first touchdown pass that they threw, we hadn't seen them do that, but. No, right now it's a great game. We knew it was going to be a great game. Their kids are playing real hard, and our kids are too, so I'm expecting another half just exactly like it.
One more question. What do you look for in the second half?
We just got to come up with a stop on those fourth downs. We can't allow a big play. I've just got to keep playing hard and got to keep believing in each other.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
All right, thank you.
Back up to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Mike. We're tied 13-13. We're at the Class 3A Division I State Championship game, and you're watching it on Time Warner Cable Sports presented by State Farm.
How do I celebrate the holidays? Oh, I come to the mall, talk about Ford.
This is the new Explorer? It's gorgeous.
Also has a thing called My Ford Touch, up to 10,000 different commands. Give all the orders.
I like giving orders.
Want to see the Edge?
I love it. I love the big roof.
How about the Escape? 28 miles a gallon is a big deal.
That's a very big deal.
You go with the Escape?
I go with the Escape.
And you like the Edge?
But if you push me, I'll take the Explorer.
Right now, during the year-end celebration, get a Ford Edge with up to $3,000 cash back.
See your best in Texas Ford dealers.
Wish your home phone could do more? Act a little more like a smartphone? You go to my services at timewarnercable.com and click on Voice Zone. There you'll be able to set up Voice Zone features, like having your home voicemail messages sent to your email, or sending caller ID numbers to your computer. Those are just two of the features that put you in control of your phone. If you already have digital home phone, Voice Zone is free of charge. I'm Chris. I can make your home phone smarter. I am Time Warner Cable.
All right, buddy. This one's going to be right where you like it. Here we go. Whoop. Sorry. Give me a second. Oh, look out. Good eye. Little rusty. Oh, back up.
Hey, Dad. Are we going to miss the game?
We're good.
Remote DVR Manager. Set it from anywhere.
Gonna give you the deuce.
Coming soon, so you won't miss a thing. At Time Warner Cable, we're moving technology forward.
See? Just like your old man.
Yeah, sorta.
To bring you back together.
Pete Stein, Scott Garner, Mike Stern, and John Nelson all here at Cowboy Stadium. Glad you could join us for this Class 3A Division I State Championship game.
Aaron,
We're just
you're all
tied
set.
at the half, 13-13. But it looked in the early stages, Scott, like Chapel Hill just might blow Alvarado out of this game. What did the Indians do to get back in it?
Well, I'll tell you what they did was they made a couple of adjustments on defense, but they got some confidence, and they were able to contain Chapel Hill's attack. Now, Chapel Hill's made plays, and they've got speed, but they really haven't shown the explosiveness that they have in previous weeks. Remember, this is a team, too, that has given up 40 points twice this year, but it's also a team that's had at least 600 yards of offense in 4 different games. One was a 700-yard game. So I really would suspect that coming out of the second half that we'll probably see Coach Sitton open it up a little bit. I think he's a little bit surprised. You saw he was a little bit disappointed giving up the 2 touchdowns on 4th down conversion attempts. I can't remember the last time I saw a team with 2 touchdowns in the first half, and both, oh, by the way, happen to be on 4th down conversions.
And Chapel Hill also scored a touchdown on 4th down.
Well, they sure did.
So 3 of the
Yeah,
touchdowns
3 of the 4
have come
that
on
we've seen.
4th down conversions tonight. So teams are racing to get to 4th down tonight.
Boy, 4th down has all of a sudden become an explosive down here
is.
in the state title game.
Turns out that tonight it's been the money down for both of these teams. Last week, Chapel Hill found themselves in a close game, and they were able to squeak one out over West Columbia, while Alvarado was defeating the defending state champions Henderson 34-13, averting a rematch in this year's Class 3A Division I State Championship game. Alvarado instead makes the trip to Arlington, and their marching band has also made the trip, and they're performing down on the field here at Cowboy Stadium.
all set.
Great, thanks.
Mike, thanks for doing that discount double check. You saved us hundreds.
What was that?
The discount double check? It's when we comb through your policies and make sure that you're getting all the discounts you deserve.
No, I get that part, but you guys are doing my move.
The discount double check move?
It's my touchdown dance.
So you're a dancer?
No, I'm a quarterback.
Oh, quarterback.
More.
I'm a robot. Get out of here.
Aaron Rodgers got his. How about you?
Rodgers! Discount double check!
Get to a better state. State Farm. Roadrunner Turbo, the fastest internet available.
Dan.
Sorry. At Time Warner Cable, we're moving technology forward to bring you back to the band.
Crunchy DQ steak fingers and crispy fries. Texas toast and gravy, just $4.99. 4-piece DQ baskets thrill my soul. Just like a soft serve sundae in a waffle bowl. For the best treats, eats, and drinks and better value. Nothing tastes better than a trip to DQ. DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
I care about sparking an interest in science, technology, engineering, and math with the children of today. My name is Paul. I work for Time Warner Cable as a network engineer. Working with Connect a Million Minds, I've gotten to see how the minds of a lot of young people work. It's watching the light bulb come on, and you really understand that child just had a spark go off, and you helped create that spark.
Time Warner Cable employees are inspiring the next generation of problem solvers. Visit connectamillionminds.com to find out what you can do.
At Time Warner Cable, we're trying to make your life easier. One of the ways we're doing it is with free online bill pay. It saves you time, stamps, and lets you be a little greener. Just go to My Services at TimeWarnerCable.com and click on the online bill pay button. It takes a few seconds to set up, and it's absolutely safe and secure. It's a total win-win-win situation. My name is Sashi. I'm helping you be a little more green. I am Time Warner Cable.
We're back at Cowboy Stadium in Arlington for this Class 3A Division I state championship game presented by State Farm. Alvarado and Chapel Hill are tied 13-13 as we take a look at the first half stats, and we'll see if the stats favor one side or the other. Chapel Hill, very impressive. Most of the damage coming on their first two drives, and then on that final drive where they were able to set up for a go-ahead field goal, but the kick was no good. A 27-yarder. Chapel Hill managing 14 first downs in the first half, while Alvarado only had 4, and remember, scored touchdowns on fourth down twice in the first half. Alvarado is not accustomed to being outrushed, but that's exactly what's happening tonight. Chapel Hill using that running back by committee, using Jay Reagan, Andrew Tucker, and Rex Rollins, have outgained Alvarado 143-75, and Alvarado, of course, has relied primarily on Wayne Onderdonk to pick up most of those yards. Alvarado, somewhat surprisingly, has more passing yards in the first half than Chapel Hill. We did not expect that. Chapel Hill was the team with the more balanced attack coming into this game, but Alvarado has thrown for 68 yards, and a big chunk of that coming on the fourth down pass to the tight end that was the Indians' first touchdown of the game. Alvarado has been outgained 185-143, but remember, they really started behind the 8 ball. Chapel Hill had reeled off 20 plays, and Alvarado only had 3 plays at near the end of the first quarter of this game. How about that? Is there any wonder why these two teams are 14-0, and in the state championship game, no penalty yards and no turnovers in the first half of action tonight? The defenses have been able to put some pressure on the quarterback. You can see 3 sacks total in the game. It's interesting when you look at the third down conversions and see Alvarado 1 of 5 and Chapel Hill 2 of 7, but that doesn't tell the full story. You have to go down to the next row of statistics, fourth down conversions, where each team is 2 of 2. Neither team has lost a fumble. The punting has been pretty good in this game and helped to dictate field position and time of possession clearly in favor of Chapel Hill. But again, Most of that time of possession coming in the first quarter when Chapel Hill was able to put together back-to-back long drives against the Indians.
Shocking too, Pete. You hit on two very important stats. No fumbles and no penalties. The only penalty we had was decline. So those are two really important stats. It just shows you, here you are this deep, you're going to be somewhat flawless.
You talked at the top of the show about Kenny West needing to manage the Indians' offense. 3 of 4 for 68 yards, a touchdown pass. Most of that yardage coming on the touchdown pass to Gio, the 40-yard touchdown pass. No interceptions for West. He's been exceptional.
I've always thought that a quarterback that was in there to manage a game would have a more difficult time being efficient, just simply because of the fact that he's not asked to pass very often. I mean, when you're only asked to pass 4 times a half, I mean, you're first of all, you're not accustomed to it. You don't have much touch, much feel, but yet West is able to hit 3 of 4.
It's working out for Tim Tebow, all right.
It's working out for Tim Tebow.
And he's on a Tebow pace to throw 8 passes in this game. Wayne Underdog, 9 carries, 72 yards. And let me tell you, friends, that's a hard-earned 72 yards for Underdog. He's running against a tough defense.
Can I deviate from this game for a moment and ask you a question about Tebow? When he was in college, I didn't think he was going to be a very high draft pick because he had such a slow release. And quite honestly, I didn't think his arm was that strong. Has that improved? I haven't seen much of it.
It certainly looked like it improved last week.
Okay, so they've been working with him. All right.
So we're in an NFL stadium. You want to talk NFL? Is that what the deal is?
If you wouldn't mind.
Here's Chapel Hill. Avery Signs, 5 of 8 passing for 42 yards. He's also been a little bit surprising with his running game. 5 carries for 21 yards. We didn't expect coming in to see a lot of Signs running the ball.
No, and it's funny. They started to sprint him out there at about the 5th or 6th drive, and I'm really surprised to see him be as good as he is at being able to read, knowing exactly when to tuck it. Sometimes you see a quarterback with some indecisiveness associated with his game, particularly at this level, but not Signs. He's been very definitive with his decisions.
Andrew Tucker has been the leading rusher, but it's been running back by committee. Tucker with 11 carries for 57 yards and scored on a touchdown run. Trey Allen has caught a pass for 21 yards, and that was a touchdown pass for the Bulldogs. So, all in all, when you look at those statistics, you would expect that this would be a very close game, and you can't get any closer than 13-13. Not very many high school marching bands get a chance to do a Christmas show, but that's what's happening down on the field with the Chapel Hill marching band and drill team.
The Chapel Hill Band will feature flags and toilers. Watch as they perform a routine to Shout It Out.
How do I celebrate the holidays? Oh, I come to the mall, talk about Ford.
This is the new Explorer? It's gorgeous.
Also has a thing called My Ford Touch, up to 10,000 different commands. Give all the orders.
I like giving orders.
Want to see the Edge?
I love it. I love the big roof.
How about the Escape?
28 miles a gallon is a big deal.
That's a very big deal.
You go with the Escape?
I go with the Escape.
And you like the Edge?
But if you push me, I'll take the Explorer.
Right now, during the year-end celebration, get a Ford Edge with up to $3,000 cash back.
See your best in Texas Ford dealers.
From Time Warner Cable. Fall in love again. We're moving technology forward to bring you back to the magic.
Academy Sports and Outdoors has something for everybody on my list.
They make holiday shopping easy, real easy.
Perfect.
They're both a great price.
How's this?
Even better. Where can I find some Wolverine boots?
Right over this way.
Gift card?
Get Polar Edge Fleece Zips. Hot deal, $12.99. Columbia Fleece, just $21.99 to $34.99.
The right gifts, the low prices, everyday Academy.
When I met Darius the first time, he just makes you want to smile.
Math and science, robotics, everything combined is awesome.
And my name is Greg. I work at Time Warner Cable, and I volunteer to coach a first robotics team.
This is cool how we get to build our own robot and then program it to do what we want it to do.
Little do they know how much math and science and technology that they're doing by running these programs.
Time Warner Cable employees are inspiring the next generation of problem solvers. Visit connectamillionminds.com to find out what you can do.
Oh, look, we have a voicemail at home.
Hey, it's Bob from next door. Really wish you would have told me about the party. We can't even get out of the driveway. Hello?
Hey, buddy, it's Stan. The weather was terrible. We're on our way home.
Huh?
We'll pick up a pizza.
Okay, we'll see you soon.
Never miss a call with home voicemail to email. At Time Warner Cable, we're moving technology forward to bring you back to peace of mind.
Back at the Texas Class 3A Division I championship game, Alvarado and Chapel Hill are tied 13-13 as the Chapel Hill Marching Band continues to perform. We get a chance to take a look at the first half highlights, and early on it was all Chapel Hill. These were two really impressive offensive drives. They did a lot of damage on the ground. That's John Reagan with a carry there. This is Tucker running around the right side, getting around the corner and into the end zone to give the Bulldogs the lead, but they would miss the extra point. It was blocked and had to settle for a 6-0 lead. Villarreal not able to return this any further than the 25-yard line. So with that, Chapel Hill was up 6-0. Alvarado was 3 and out, and back came the Bulldogs. Signs on the run, picking up first down yardage. Tucker got caught by Villarreal in the backfield that time, and Chapel Hill went to the air. Signs rolling to the right and finding Trey Allen for the score. The Bulldogs were up 13-0, and the Indians had only run 3 plays, and then they ran this gadget play on 4th down, finding the tight end Gio, and Alvarado was back in the game, trailing 13-6. Reagan on the run here for the Bulldogs, stood up by McNeil and forced out of bounds. Signs dropping back to pass, and he's sacked as the Alvarado defense started to come up big. Then on 4th and 1, Onderdonk, who's rushed for nearly 3,000 yards coming into this game, is gone. A 55-yard touchdown run for Onderdonk, and then Alvarado went to the air with West, and West has been a pretty effective passer, but that time running out of time as he was under pressure. Signs went back to the ground game, and Rex Rollins on the final drive of the first half for Chapel Hill was very effective. This pass was incomplete as Kincaid had 1 foot out of bounds, and Chapel Hill had to settle for a field goal attempt of 27 yards, but missed that field goal attempt. Alvarado would take a knee and went to the locker room, tied 13-13. The Indians storming back from a 13-0 deficit and Alvarado will have the football first when the second half begins. And all of that action is coming up next on Time Warner Cable Sports. It's the Class 3A Division I state championship game, the first state championship game in the state of Texas. Two undefeated teams, both 14-0. Alvarado and Chapel Hill are knotted 13-13 after one half of play here at Cowboy Stadium in Arlington. And you see there, Avery Sines getting warmed up and is warming up with a guy that has also played a little bit of quarterback this year for Chapel Hill, Anthony Kincaid. Been a wide receiver tonight, and he nearly had a touchdown at the end of the first half, but was just out of bounds. Even though he made the catch, it was ruled incomplete, and it was the right call. And then Chapel Hill missed that field goal. Does that kind of put a damper on the Bulldogs going into the locker room?
I don't think so. I think what really hurt him in that first half was the fact that, they give up the 2 touchdowns on 4th down. That really hurt
After
him.
leading 13-0.
Yeah.
Let's check in with John Nelson, who is standing by with Jeff Dixon, the head coach of the Alvarado Indians.
Coach Dixon, you were down 13-0, then the pass to the tight end. How many times have you run that play this year?
Several times. Our kids execute it real well. Play action is good for us, but we got to find a way to move the ball and get first downs. We can't rely on that kind of stuff to win this ball game. We've got to find a way to move the ball on the ground, get first downs, and at the right time, play action.
And you get the ball to begin the second half, which bodes well for the offense.
Well, it's a good opportunity for us to go set the tempo this half.
Got to feel good about 0 turnovers in the first half.
Yes, sir. We need to go create some this half.
All right, Coach, good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Well, that's very interesting that he says, hey, we scored on a gadget play, but that's not good enough. We've got to be able to run our offense to win this game.
Yeah, he knows that. That's why, this may be a tie game, but the advantage really leans in favor of Chapel Hill because they've been able to stick with their game plan. Alvarado hasn't. They've kind of been doing it with smoke and mirrors. He knows it. They've got to get Onderdock some room to run. He's got to become more effective. If they look at his numbers and he's going to have 20-something yards on 8 of the 9 carries in the second half. That's that long run of 55, which has him at 73 yards. But save for that run, he's only got 18 yards on 8 carries. The 18 yards on 8 carries will not get it done for him in the second half.
Chapel Hill ran 37 total plays in the first half to Alvarado's 20. And a lot of that difference, in fact, came in the first quarter when Chapel Hill had run 20 plays and Alvarado had just run 3. But the Indians have been able to rebound. They've converted 2 big 4th downs, scoring touchdowns on those plays, tying the Bulldogs 13-13. And I got to think, as John alluded to in the interview there with Coach Jeff Dixon, that this is a huge opening possession of the second half for the Indians.
You know what I thought was funny when John asked him that question is, hey, what did you think? No turnovers in that first half. And John was trying to lead him to say something positive about not turning the ball over, but I immediately knew what he was going to be thinking. He was upset that his defense hadn't created any turnovers because remember, Alvarado's a team that creates turnovers. Over 3 a game this year. They haven't been able to do it yet. They're chomping at the bit to be able to turn this game by creating the turnovers. They've done it so many times before.
Tyler Bates is deep receiving, awaiting the kick from Tyler Brown of Chapel Hill. And the second half is just about underway here. Class 3A Division I state championship game. Another short kick fielded at the 25-yard line. McNeil runs right, crosses the 30, is grabbed by the face mask and is taken down at the 37-yard line. But there does not appear to be a penalty marker on the 17-yard return off a 13-yard kick.
Well, we'll see what Alvarado does. Again, they've got to be able to run the ball between the tackles. If they can't do that here in the second half, it's going to be very, very difficult for the Indians to be the first team to win a state championship from Johnson County since 1921.
Starting the drive from their own 37-yard line with Kenny West at quarterback. The fullback is Lee Hardy. Wayne Onderdonk is the tailback. They pitch it to Onderdonk. He's got blocking on the right side, picks up 3 yards to the 40, and in on the tackle is Sir Calvin Wallace. Also in on that stop for Chapel Hill was Chrisman Weeks.
Well, Onderdonk, he knows what it takes to be tough and to get those hard yards. He's been in this Alvarado system since the 7th grade. They run the same thing from the 7th grade on up to the high school level, and he knows what it takes. He's patient, and he's trying to be patient enough to allow those blocks to develop.
2nd down and 7 from the 40-yard line for the Alvarado Indians. They shift the tight end to the left side of the formation. Onderdonk looking for running room, plunges up the middle, and picks up only a couple of yards. It'll be about 3rd and 5 coming up here for the Alvarado Indians.
The problem with living and dying by the play fake in your passing game is that sometimes you can get into the pattern of run, run, pass. And this is what they're looking at right here. There's about an 80% chance that we're going to be seeing a play action pass right here.
The linebacker Kevin Garcia making the tackle after a 2-yard gain. 3rd and 5 for the Indians. At their own 42. Play action. West rolls left, throws, the pass is incomplete. Ellinger could not make the catch. He thought there was pass interference on Jay Reagan, but there's no flag forthcoming.
I tell you what, Reagan did a real good job. He comes over the back of the wide receiver, but it didn't appear as though he got there early. That was just tremendous defense by that Chapel Hill cornerback.
So Alvarado, who was hoping to really cash in on their opening possession, forced to punt. Alex Gentry awaiting the snap inside his own 30-yard line. Nelson Onwuzu is back deep receiving. Onwuzu calls for the fair catch and makes it at the 28-yard line of the Bulldogs. That's where Chapel Hill takes over, 1st and 10 after a 29-yard punt. But again, he had good hang time, no return.
Well, this is the time, though, that Chapel Hill, and they're accustomed to setting tones to begin halves. And remember, this is a Chapel Hill team that came in 14-0 under Thomas Sidney, who again is in his 3rd year. They were 32-7 under his direction coming in. And, you know, they beat West Columbia, holding them to 96 rushing yards. And they're doing the same thing tonight to Alvarado.
Onderdonk has been held to just over 75 yards. Tucker takes the handoff on 1st down for the Bulldogs and is brought down close to the 34-yard line.
The one thing we're seeing Chapel Hill do, they're able to create the one-on-one situations in space, and pretty soon they're going to end up beating somebody one-on-one. That's the problem that Alvarado is really having to deal with here.
Andrew Tucker gains 5 to the 33. Takes the handoff again, crosses the 35, and is close to a 1st down for the Bulldogs.
Little cutback lane, somebody got his ankle.
He's a yard short, it'll be 3rd and 1.
Again, speaking of ankle, remember Tucker missing all but 5 or 6 games this year because of a bad ankle. It's hard for him to cut.
Which is amazing. He had 105 carries and 1,009 yards. One of 2 players over 1,000 yards, and Rex Rollins only needed 81 coming into the game to get to 1,000. Tucker is dropped behind the line of scrimmage. He's going to lose yardage. It'll be 4th down and 3 coming up.
You know, as we get a replay, he's trying to cut in the backfield on that ankle, and he slipped.
Villarreal is in on the tackle, along with Brazos Fuller.
As potent as this offense is, it's really hard to believe that Alvarado has held them now to 3 and out 3 different times.
Onwuzu will punt. Tyler Bates awaiting the punt at his own 38-yard line for the Indians. So both teams 1-2-3 kick to start the 2nd half. This kick will take a favorable roll for the Indians. Tyler Chapel Hill will kill it at about the 43-yard line. It's only a 25-yard punt. We're in the third quarter with 8:29 to play, tied at 13, and our coverage continues after this on Time Warner Cable Sports.
How do I celebrate the holidays? Oh, I come to the mall, talk about Ford.
This is the new Explorer. It's gorgeous.
Also has something called My Ford Touch, up to 10,000 different commands. Give all the orders.
I like giving orders.
Want to see the Edge?
I love it. I love the big roof.
How about the Escape?
28 miles a gallon is a big deal.
That's a very big deal.
You go with the Escape?
I go with the Escape.
And you like the Edge?
But if you push me, I'll take the Explorer.
Right now, during the year-end celebration, get a Ford Edge with up to $3 grand cash back.
See your best in Texas Ford dealers.
I love watching football. That's why I don't have satellite. You get a big storm, their signal can go out. You know what that's like?
So I have a hard time trusting. You know, I used to have dreams, and now I have shells of dreams.
Get Time Warner Cable.
Touchdown!
Men need football in any weather. Satellite doesn't get that. Time Warner Cable does.
Crunchy DQ steak fingers and crispy fries. Texas toast and gravy, just $4.99. 4-piece DQ baskets thrill my soul. Just like a soft serve sundae in a waffle bowl. For the best treats, seats, and drinks and better value. Nothing tastes better than a trip to DQ. DQ. That's what I like about Texas.
Welcome back to Cowboy Stadium in Arlington. Each team has had the ball one time here early in the third quarter, but both times 3 and out. Alvarado now begins their second possession of the game, 1st and 10 at their own 43. They've only had 4 first downs in this game. I formation with Hardy the fullback. That's Ellinger in motion. The handoff to the leading rusher, Wayne Underdog, who had 2,887 yards and 28 touchdowns coming into the game. He's found the going tough on the ground, and there's a penalty marker down, and that's been rare tonight.
Yeah, in fact, this will be the first official penalty of the game.
10-yard penalty. We're going to replay first down.
One thing, this offensive line, you know they feel the pressure to try to blow open some holes, but when you're outmatched to a certain extent, and you know, I'm not saying that they are, but if you get into a situation where you feel as though you are, you feel as though it's incumbent upon you to do everything that you can to try to help out your running back. And sometimes that may mean pushing the envelope on a hold. And you hope for Alvarado's sake it hasn't gotten to this point, but nothing seems to be working right now between the tackles. And I can guarantee you right now that Coach Jeff Dixon's a little bit worried about it.
1st and 20 for the Indians at their own 33-yard line. I formation. Ellinger is out wide to the left. And breaking through on the right side is the fullback, Hardy. And he's down to the 25-yard line of Chapel Hill.
What an incredible play. They have done it with smoke and mirrors. That time it was a smoke.
A little
Statue of Liberty. How about a Statue of Liberty? Got him off the right side. Nobody expected that.
Watch the wraparound handoff. It's Boise State.
I haven't seen that in forever. I didn't see the Boise State one. Boise State ran it, and I think that was after that Cleveland team in 21.
So again, they have to kind of go to the gadget play to pick up big yardage, but they've got it. 1st down and 10 at the Tyler Chapel Hill 28. And once again, they give it to the fullback Hardy, and he plows his way down close to the 34-yard line.
Alvarado, I tell you, they've come up with some plays tonight. It's not, we're going to run it down your throats, and you know we're going to. It's, well let's do this. Let's run a gadget play here on 4th and 4. We'll throw a touchdown over the top. Oh, here's the Statue of Liberty. This is fun to watch.
Lee Hardy did rush for 670 yards on 96 carries and scored 11 touchdowns coming into this game. But a real surprise party when he went 47 yards on that Statue of Liberty wraparound handoff. Then they gave it right back to him. He picked up another 4. And here's 2nd down and 6. And again, they keep it on the ground, running right, but only a couple of yards for Underdog. who's stopped by Kevin Garcia.
Now every third down becomes a big play, and we're seeing, the thing is, Chapel Hill's got so much speed, they're able to come back from behind, make plays from behind, and they do so again for literally no gain. But now it's a big play because we're going to see another play action pass, I would think. And Kenny West has been efficient. Remember at the break, he was 4 of 5 throwing 73 yards, had a long of 39, and now we'll see what he can do on a 3rd down and 5. This is going to be all about Kenny West. Can the quarterback deliver here?
Onderdonk stopped at the line of scrimmage. It's 3rd down and 6. West back to pass. Rolling out right. He is sacked. He is dropped back at the 31-yard line. Tackled by Josh Hamilton in the backfield. Hamilton sacks the quarterback, and it's going to be 4th down and 11 coming up here for the Indians.
Hamilton with a tremendous play. Look how big he is. I haven't seen a guy that quick in a long time with his kind of size, but it's 4th down.
A 6-yard loss back to the 28.
This would be a 44-yarder if they try it here, Pete.
I think they're going to go for it on 4th and 11. West stays in the game. Daniel Pinkerton is out wide to the right. Ellinger goes in motion. There's a false start that's going to push the Indians back 5 yards. The tight end got up out of his stance. That was Jake Gio.
And I got to tell you, if you're Jeff Dixon at this point, you're in a fringy area here. I wouldn't be shocked to see him send the punting team out.
I think 4th and 16, you almost, I say almost forced to punt here, but I don't see the special teams unit coming on the field. This is 4th and 16. They're 2 of 2 on 4th down, but this would be a semi-miracle if they convert 4th and 16.
Dixon says, I've got him where I want him.
Let's see, this may be a pooch punt.
Well, you got a timeout called. Sometimes this is a defensive timeout.
It looked like West might be going into a pooch kick formation.
Oh, okay.
That was a deeper drop back than you would have for a shotgun snap.
Gotcha.
And there is a timeout taken. The timeout is taken by Alvarado, so they have 2 timeouts remaining. We're tied at 13 and returning to Cowboy Stadium after this on Time Warner Cable Sports.
Aaron, you're all set?
Great, thanks.
Mike, thanks for doing that discount double check. You saved us hundreds.
What was that?
The discount double check? It's when we comb through your policies to make sure that you're getting all the discounts you deserve.
No, I get that part, but you guys are doing my move.
The discount double check move?
It's my touchdown dance.
So you're a dancer?
No, I'm a quarterback.
Oh, quarterback.
More.
I'm a robot.
Where's your
Get out of here.
Aaron Rodgers got his. How about you?
Rodgers! Discount double check!
Get to a better state. State Farm.
Did you know that the average American home has 2.93 TVs? That's an average. I mean, if you have a really big house, maybe you got 5. If you're a rock star, you got 15. The point is, with Time Warner Digital Cable, you can watch HD on all of them at the same time. But with AT&T, you're out of luck. They can't handle HD for all those TVs. Sometimes they can't even handle 2. Rock stars have more TVs than that in their bathroom. Could have been a rock star. Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
HD on all your TVs. AT&T doesn't have it. Time Warner Cable does.
Wish your home phone could do more? You know, act a little more like a smartphone? You go to my services at timewarnercable.com and click on VoiceZone. There you'll be able to set up VoiceZone features, like having your home voicemail messages sent to your email, or sending caller ID numbers to your computer. Those are just 2 of the features that put you in control of your phone. If you already have digital home phone, VoiceZone is free of charge. I'm Chris. I can make your home phone smarter. I am Time Warner Cable.
Fourth and 16, and it looks like the Alvarado Indians will now go into a traditional punt formation as they've brought Gentry into the game. And Gentry's been an effective punter tonight, not necessarily for great distance, but he's had good hang time, and the Bulldogs have not had returns, and this one is going to go into the end zone. It'll be a touchback, and the Bulldogs will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20. Just kicking it right down the middle. He did not seem to aim for one of the corners.
I was looking for a big rusty nail to be wedged into a coffin there. I didn't see a coffin corner. He just dropped that. I'm just going to punt it as far as I can.
So starting at their own 20, Tyler Chapel Hill With their second possession of the third quarter, they were 3 and out on their first possession. Much different than when they started the game. Signs calling for a shotgun snap, sends Allen in motion to the right side. Tucker is in the backfield with Signs and stays back to block. Sets up the screen pass, received by Tucker, who scampers out of bounds at the 30-yard line.
One thing that this team does well, they know how to execute with time, and that's the fourth real nice screen pass that they have run. They have all gone to Andrew Tucker, who again is a big running back at 190 pounds. He does have that tough ankle, but man, he looks good tonight.
Trey Allen and Anthony Kincaid are the two receivers on the left side, two on the right as well. Tucker takes the handoff, runs up the middle, and reaches the 34-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 6 from there for the Bulldogs.
It's been a real battle in the trenches, and I got to tell you, you've got to give credit to some of these players on this Alvarado team. I mean, you look at some of the tackles that they have, and you know, we see Fuller down there. And, they've been very, very competitive.
Fuller making that last tackle for Alvarado. Fuller in on 88 tackles coming into this game. Tucker hurdles his own man and gets to the 39-yard line, a yard shy of a 1st down. It'll be 3rd and 1 coming up for Tyler Chapel Hill.
I'm really surprised to see Tucker get the bulk of the carries tonight. I was looking for more Jay Reagan, who had 135 carries. Tucker, 105.
Let's call it 3rd down and 3 where they mark it. Tucker in the backfield, Allen in motion to the right. Tucker to the left of Signs. Play action, Signs throws. The ball is up for grabs and it's going to fall incomplete. Bates covering on Wuzu, and it was nearly an interception as we check in with John Nelson.
Well, Pete, I'm reminded last year in the game we televised here, Chapel Hill was down 21-7 at the half to Henderson. They came back and scored 21 points in the second half. Alvarado does not want to give up 14 points tonight in the second half, but for Chapel Hill, it could be enough.
So we're knotted at 13, and Chapel Hill will once again be forced to punt. Alvarado has really improved their defense remarkably since those first 2 Chapel Hill drives.
We're still hoping, though, for that first turnover.
Onwuzu delivering the punt that is fielded at the 22 and returned up the right sideline. Across the 45 and down to the 49-yard line, losing the handle of the football on the return was Tyler Bates. But I think the ball went out of bounds, and it will stay in possession of the Alvarado Indians.
Remember, Bates is a wide receiver averaging 27 yards per catch, and he has shown to be quite an asset in the return game tonight. I thought that was going to be the first turnover.
We still have not had a turnover in this game, and we've only had 1 penalty. That's a 26-yard return to the 48-yard line.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised to see one of these drives begin with a play-action pass. Every time that Alvarado has begun a drive, they've been trying to force-feed the ball through the middle, and it just has not been there. The play fake is their game.
Hardy the fullback, Onderdonk the tailback. West rolls out right, throws, and that pass is incomplete. Looking for the tight end. The target was Michael Vanderhoff.
And there it was. There was the play fake as Jeff Dixon, the head coach for this Alvarado team, says, we dialed it up right. We just couldn't quite get the execution. Timing was disrupted because of the pressure.
And there were 2 receivers in the area because Daniel Pinkerton was there as well. Covering defensively for the Bulldogs was Joseph Clark, the sophomore. Second down and 10 for Alvarado. West drops back. A draw play to Onderdonk. He gets to the 50-yard line. And that's a gain of only a couple of yards. It'll bring up 3rd down and 8 for the Indians.
Onderdonk, captain a couple of years straight now for this ball club. His work ethic is unmatched. You know he's got to be a little bit frustrated. They tried to run him on a few sprint draws tonight, and he's just waiting to get loose, but he just cannot quite get past that first level. This is a big third down.
3rd and 8, West out of a shotgun. Underdog stays in the block. The pass is complete to the 45 of Chapel Hill, where Bates makes the catch, but is immediately wrapped up and brought down by Devron Dean, and it's going to be short of a first down. They're going to give him forward progress. Pretty generous spot to the 43-yard line, but he needs another couple of yards to pick up a first down.
Well, you know, West doing exactly what he does. He manages the game, he executes, and as well as this Alvarado team has done on defense the last 2 quarters of this game, I'm not shocked that they're keeping the offense out right here.
It'll be 4th down and 1. They're 2 of 2 on 4th down. In a similar situation in the first half, Underdog went the distance. They pitch to Hardy, the fullback, hit in the backfield, loses yardage, and the ball is turned over on downs.
They go with the inverted wishbone, Pete, and they pitched it to the halfback who is the farthest from the point of attack. They've tried to run east and west tonight, and not one time has it worked. I'm a little shocked that they pulled that one out of the hat.
Colton Moorhead and Devron Dean making the tackle in the backfield as we check in with Mike Stern.
Great defensive stop by the Chapel Hill defensive line. The nose tackle in the middle, Brandon Bell, he plays like he's 6'8". He's only 5'6". The kid has got the heart of a line. Another great story on the road to the 3A championship. Back up to you.
1:32 remaining. Signs on a quarterback draw up the middle, hit hard as he reaches the 45-yard line, hit by Brazos Fuller.
Oh, they call him the Duke. There he is, Fuller in the middle. He John Wayne'd him there. My gosh.
Not going any farther than that, Pilgrim. Clock rolling. This third quarter has flown by. We're down to the final 1:05. 2nd and 9 for the Bulldogs at their own 45-yard line. Trey Allen in motion to the right side. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Signs pumps once, then throws long down the right side. Onwuzu makes the catch and races toward the end zone for a Bulldog touchdown. Chapel Hill takes the lead 19-13 on a 55-yard touchdown pass.
They roll the pocket again, a pump fake. He got hit as soon as he let it go. All Onwuzu had to do was catch it. You catch it, you're gone. It's his 9th touchdown of the year. He's made so many ESPN-type catches this year, you could just add another one up. It's one of the reasons why he's going to Air Force. He knows exactly where to be. He's extremely intelligent, tremendous athletic ability, and he runs just unmatched routes. Great job.
Tyler Brown hits the extra point. Chapel Hill leads by 7. 20-13 with 47 seconds to play in the third quarter. Here's another look at the Signs pass, and another half second he would have been sacked, but he delivers that pass right on time, and it was McNeil who was unable to bring down Onwuzu.
Well, he's got him in one-on-one coverage, and he got beat. And again, sometimes you have to gamble. When you have 3 1,000-yard rushers that you're having to contain, and even while Alvarado only has 1 guy that goes both ways and they're quite fresh on defense, you still, when you know that another team has a half step on you collectively, you've got to take those gambles, and they just had him one-on-one on the edge.
There's a look at the quarterback, Avery Signs, who directed that 2-play 56-yard drive that only took 32 seconds off the clock here at Cowboy Stadium. And I'm reminded of that image we saw last year of the Chapel Hill quarterback, Avery Signs, who could only look at that state championship trophy, but he went to midfield and got a close-up look at the trophy that slipped through his fingers last year. He's hoping to put his hands around that trophy tonight, and with that touchdown pass, he's given the Bulldogs the lead late in the third quarter, 20-13 over Alvarado. Brown's kick is once again a wedge shot fielded at the 30-yard line. That's where Alvarado takes over, where Walraven made the fair catch for the Indians. So once again, Alvarado is playing from behind. Remember, they rallied from a 13-0 deficit, but tied the game at 13 and now trail 20-13 with 47 seconds to play in the third quarter.
Now remember, Kenny West did have a 300-yard passing game earlier this year. He came in 19 touchdowns, 6 picks. He's had a relatively large amount of time with which to work back there in the pocket, and it may come down to his arm as to whether or not Alvarado's going to really have a legitimate chance to reel in that first state title.
High formation play action on first down. West steps up in the pocket. West will run but cannot escape the pressure. He's brought down at the 30-yard line. No gain, 2nd and 10. Pressuring the quarterback was Chrisman Weeks.
Well, Weeks is quite fast, and that's the problem. West, if he does step up and he has to be flushed, he can't outrun the linebackers.
18 seconds remaining in the third quarter. We'll see if the Indians get another playoff here.
Weeks, by the way, valedictorian of this class. And he knows where to be. He was at the right place at the right time that time.
Walraven goes in motion. They'll run a reverse. Coming to the near side. Ellinger gets to the 40 for a first down. He's to midfield. He's down the left sideline to the 35 and knocked out of bounds inside the 30. It's another trick play, if you will. Avery Henderson finally knocking Ellinger out of bounds near the 30-yard line on the final play of the third quarter. Alvarado threatening to once again tie this game, trailing 20-13. As we go to the fourth and final quarter of the season in Class 3A Division I, our coverage of the state championship game continues after this on Time Warner Cable Sports.
How do I celebrate the holidays? Oh, I come to the mall, talk about Ford.
This is the new Explorer. It's gorgeous.
Also has something called My Ford Touch, up to 10,000 different commands. Give all the orders.
I like giving orders.
Want to see the Edge?
I love it. I love the big roof.
How about the Escape?
28 miles a gallon is a big deal.
That's a very big deal.
You go with the Escape?
I go with the Escape.
And you like the Edge?
But if you push me, I'll take the Explorer.
Right now, during the year-end celebration, get a Ford Edge with up to $3,000 cash back.
See your best in Texas Ford dealers.
All right, buddy. This one's going to be right where you like it. Here we go. Whoop. Sorry. Give me a second. Oh, look out. Good eye. Little rusty. Oh, back up.
Hey, Dad. Are we going to miss the game?
We're good.
Remote DVR Manager. Set it from anywhere.
Gonna give you the deuce.
Coming soon, so you won't miss a thing. At Time Warner Cable, we're moving technology forward.
See? Just like your old man.
Yeah, sorta.
To bring you back together.
There's a lot of people out there. I don't know if I can do this.
Can't do this? You didn't say can't when you finished the triathlon.
No.
You didn't say can't when you saved those whales.
No.
And you didn't say can't when they made you CFO.
I can do this.
Now go out and crush them, baby.
Connect from anywhere with 4G mobile internet. At Time Warner Cable, we're moving technology forward.
I'm not supposed to be in here.
To bring you back to your support system.
Well, Alvarado has had most of their success running misdirection. They run a reverse on the final play of the third quarter. Underdog handing it off to Ellinger, who picked up 43 yards on the reverse before getting pushed out of bounds at the 30-yard line by Avery Henderson. And that's where the fourth quarter begins for Alvarado. 1st and 10 at the Chapel Hill 30-yard line, trailing 20-13.
Well, what a great job, too, by Jake Glasscock, guard, to lead the way. And, you know, he was being directed, say, hey, block this guy. And he bulldozed him.
Pinkerton is out wide to the left. Ellinger goes to the right side. Hardy, the fullback. Onderdonk, the tailback. 1st and 10 for Alvarado. West pitches to Onderdonk, running left. Onderdonk forced out of bounds, gaining almost 5 yards on the carry.
That is the best sweep that we have seen tonight from Alvarado, and they're starting to try and wear down the defensive line. That time they had numbers, and they had execution of blocks. That's the best sweep we've seen from the Indians.
Andrew Sevner with a great block on the sweep. 2nd down and 5 coming up for Alvarado at the 25-yard line of Chapel Hill. The Bulldogs leading the Alvarado Indians 20-13. Kenny West going under center. Onderdonk is the tailback in an offset eye. They give it to the fullback, Hardy, and Hardy gets down near the 17-yard line, has a first down for the Indians.
We're starting to see some different facets of this Alvarado offense start to work. A little inside. You mentioned misdirection. They give it to the fullback who runs against the grain on a little cutback.
That's where they've had their most success. They've really struggled to run right at Chapel Hill. Bates goes out wide to the left side. Ellinger is flanked to the right side. Hardy the fullback, Onderdonk the tailback. West back to pass, throws right, and throws incomplete, looking for Ellinger near the goal line.
Fans booing. They wanted a little bit of contact there, but it was great coverage in that Chapel Hill secondary. Really, it's a ball that shouldn't have been thrown.
I really like the way this game has been officiated.
Absolutely.
They're letting them play.
Inadvertent contact, feet just got tripped up. And I'll tell you, West, Kenny has taken some chances through the air, and you just hope that it doesn't backfire on him. But Alvarado does need the touchdown here.
We're in the first minute of the fourth quarter. The Indians threatening to tie the game. They have it at the Tyler Chapel Hill 17-yard line. Second down and 10. West keeps it himself, and he finds a little bit of an opening. Gets inside the 15. He's down around the 13-yard line. He's certainly not a primary running threat, but he was effective here going up the middle.
And you see them fake the little inside fly sweep and run a design quarterback draw. And this is a situation, too, where you're going to see them go for it. I would think this is 4-down territory for them, and one would think they would have to go to the air to pick this up.
West coming into the game had only carried it 42 times for 188 yards, but he did rush for 7 touchdowns. Play action, West throws on the run, completes the pass at the 10-yard line. Then Avery Henderson is carried to the 2-yard line by the fullback Hardy, who made the catch and has given the Indians first and goal to go.
Boy, he is a fullback in the I formation, and he is so smart. He throws his body around. That's what they love about him the most, and he did so on that last play, almost getting the pylon.
He carried Avery Henderson with him out of bounds.
He's a pass-catching fullback. They put him at tailback at times.
Walraven and Hardy are both lined up in front of Onderdonk, who takes the pitch, runs behind his blocks into the end zone for an Alvarado touchdown. The Indians are within a PAT of tying this game with 10:38 to play in the fourth quarter at Cowboy Stadium in Arlington. It's the Class 3A Division I state championship game, and it's a barn burner.
Boy, is it. And I tell you, both teams have missed a PAT tonight. And I tell you, this is an all-important point after.
Oh, it looks like the Indians may be going for 2 here to take the lead. They run a swinging gate. Will they snap it?
Surely not. Oh, they did.
Oh, they did, and it's fumbled. It could be returned for 2. Instead of taking a 1-point lead, the Indians trail by a point. Maybe too cute by half.
My first inclination, Pete, is what's happened to the place kicker? Something had to have happened to the place kicker to do that in a game like this.
So there's a timeout on the field. Chapel Hill still has the lead, 20-19 as the fourth quarter continues on Time Warner Cable Sports.
Academy Sports and Outdoors has something for everybody on my list.
They make holiday shopping easy, real easy.
Perfect.
They're both a great price.
How's this?
Even better. Where can I find some Wolverine boots?
Right over this way.
Gift card?
Get Polar Edge Fleece Zips. Hot deal, $12.99. Columbia Fleece, just $21.99 to $34.99.
The right gifts, the low prices, everyday Academy.
Roadrunner Turbo, the fastest internet available.
Dan. Sorry.
At Time Warner Cable, we're moving technology forward to bring you back to the band.
I care about sparking an interest in science, technology, engineering, and math with the children of today. My name is Paul. I work for Time Warner Cable as a network engineer. Working with Connect a Million Minds, I've gotten to see how the minds of a lot of young people work. It's watching the light bulb come on, and you really understand that child just had a spark go off, and you helped create that spark.
Time Warner Cable employees are inspiring the next generation of problem solvers. Visit connectamillionminds.com to find out what you can do.
Well, an impressive drive by Alvarado, but a failed two-point conversion leaves the Indians trailing by one, 20-19, with 10:38 to play in the fourth quarter. Alvarado kicking off to Chapel Hill after an 8-play, 70-yard drive. Underdog scoring on a 1-yard run, capping a drive that took 2:14 off the clock.
It's almost automatic for some teams to line up in a swinging gate, but what a coach is looking for is a mismatch. And if you don't have a mismatch, you absolutely don't snap the ball. And I can almost guarantee you that Coach Dixon was very concerned when he saw that ball snapped.
Vela Sarbi has been a pretty reliable kicker this year, and he's kicking off and once again kicks it short. And that's Avery Signs, the quarterback, playing on special teams.
You know, Pete, I would almost guarantee you that Coach Dixon did not want that ball snapped in that situation on that PAT.
Well, they were fortunate that Chapel Hill didn't scoop it up and return it for two going the other way. Still the Bulldogs lead by one, and they've got it first down and 10 from their own 37. They'll run right, handing it off to Rex Rollins. Rollins cannot get around the corner. He is stopped shy of the 40-yard line. McNeil and Villarreal in on the tackle.
Clarence Johnson's the one that made that play happen, though. Johnson, a D1 athlete, long arms, 210. Watch him force him back inside. You get another look at that. They wanted to bounce that to the sideline, but Johnson said, you're not going to do that.
Second down and 8 coming up for the Bulldogs after the 2-yard gain. Anthony Kincaid is flanked out wide to the left side. Onwuzu is in a slot left, signs back to pass, throws the screen to Tucker. That's been a very effective play, the screen pass. Gets him to the 48-yard line, and that's close to a first down as we check in with John Nelson.
Dr. Mark Cousins, the Director Athletics for the UIL. And Dr. Mark Cousins, you have to feel good about the crowd tonight.
Well, it's certainly a really nice crowd. Two great teams playing a really hard-fought game. We're very excited about the game this weekend, and we're having it here at Cowboy Stadium, getting ready for another great championship weekend next weekend.
State championship games should be played under the most ideal conditions. It doesn't get any better than this.
There's no doubt about it. I don't think there's any doubt this is the premier football facility in the world. And for our schools to have an opportunity to play a championship game in a place like this, it's really something these kids are probably going to remember for a long, long time.
Mark, one final question. With all the budget cuts around the state, with all the problems some of the school districts seem to be having, what's the biggest concern for the UIL this upcoming academic year?
Well, certainly reclassification and realignment is one of the things we're doing that's coming up in February when we release that in February of 2012. Certainly budget concerns are always at the top of the list, and first among those is travel. So we're going to try to do the things we always do, make sure we keep the districts as compact as we can so we can limit the amount of travel that schools have to do, while also making sure our enrollment disparity rates of our conferences try to stay as close as we can to 2.0. Anything that we can do to do things more efficiently for our schools is something we're really going to try to do.
Mark, might we see a 6A classification next year?
It's not something we're going to see this time. If you look at what we already have 6 conferences with 1A with 6-man and 11-man. We have 6 conferences in basketball. We will have 6 conferences in track in the upcoming alignment period. So in those activities where we have enough schools to warrant 6 conferences, we really already have that. But it's something we're going to continue to look at and study to try to do what's best and most equitable for our schools.
You do a great job on all sports.
I thank you very much, and we appreciate you guys.
Dr. Mark Cousins, the Director of Athletics for the UIL. Pete?
Check in with Mike Stern momentarily on the Chapel Hill sideline. It was the Bulldogs who called the timeout, and on 1st and 10, they run it up the middle. Let's check in with Mike.
Wide receiver Nelson Onwuzu of Chapel Hill, who just had the long touchdown, the go-ahead touchdown a few minutes ago, is used to going from coast to coast and around the world. He joins his family every year in doing mission work, providing services for those who are less fortunate. Nelson Onwuzu, another great story on the road to the 3A championship.
Yeah, and if he's going to Air Force, that tells you right off he's an excellent student as well. It'll be 2nd down and 9. There's Onwuzu, who is flanked out wide to the right side. Caught a touchdown pass earlier tonight. Allen goes in motion for the Bulldogs. Quick pass to Kincaid on the left side, and he is forced out of bounds by Xavier Holbert, the senior defensive back.
That's a good job by Holbert, too, to get there. He read that quick pass very easily and was able to get there. And I tell you, when you talk about speed, Alvarado secondary about as quick as they come.
3rd down and 7 coming up for the Chapel Hill Bulldogs, leading Alvarado 20-19 with 8:39 to play in the game.
You know what it also does, too, is it stops this clock, and you know that's a concern now for both teams.
Signs takes the shotgun snap, drops back to pass, steps up in the pocket, rolls out to the right, throws incomplete, breaking up the pass for Alvarado. Once again, it's Holbert there defensively.
That's Holbert, and I thought he had pick number 6 of the year. He stepped right in front of the wide receiver. Talk about reading it. Man, it slipped right through his hands.
Trey Allen was the intended receiver for the Bulldogs, who will now be forced to punt with just over 8.5 minutes to play. Alvarado will receive the punt, trailing 20-19. Back deep receiving is Tyler Bates. He's had a couple of nice returns tonight. Onwuzu will punt. Waiting for the snap back at his own 36-yard line. It's a high punt. It's not going to take much of a roll for the Bulldogs. Well, now it does. Skips inside the 20, and it's going to be down around the 16-yard line. It turns out to be a 36-yard punt for Onwuzu. Alvarado taking over deep in their own territory, trailing 20-19 with 8:17 to play in the 4th quarter, as our coverage of the Class 3A Division I State Championship continues on Time Warner Cable Sports.
Crunchy DQ steak fingers and crispy fries, Texas toast and gravy, just $4.99. 4-piece DQ baskets thrill my soul, just like a soft serve sundae in a waffle bowl. For the best treats, seats, and drinks and better value, nothing tastes better than a trip to DQ. That's what I like about Texas.
At Time Warner Cable, we're trying to make your life easier. One of the ways we're doing it is with free online bill pay. It saves you time, stamps, and lets you be a little greener. Just go to My Services at TimeWarnerCable.com and click on the online bill pay button. It takes a few seconds to set up, and it's absolutely safe and secure. It's a total win-win-win situation. My name is Sashi. I'm helping you be a little more green. I am Time Warner Cable.
From Time Warner Cable. Fall in love again. We're moving technology forward to bring you back to the magic.
So with 8:17 to play in the game, Alvarado takes over 1st and 10 at their own 16-yard line, trailing 20-19 after failing on a 2-point conversion following their last touchdown. I formation, Underdog takes the pitch. It's sweep left, and Underdog starting to find some holes. He gets close to the 22-yard line. It's a gain of nearly 7 yards for Underdog.
Well, he is finding some holes, too, because Andrew Sevener, who's the big offensive guard, able to lead the way. He's got 2 lead blockers, where earlier in the game, those linebackers were filling holes, denying those pulling guards. But what you really become concerned about, Pete, is that, again, West, 6 of 10 tonight. We saw his numbers, 93 yards and a touchdown. He may be asked to try to do something that he's unaccustomed to doing. Will he be able to rise up and lead this team? They've got to score again. They missed the extra point on a swinging gate earlier.
Wesley Thompson made the tackle on Underdog a moment ago, and they go right back to Underdog, who gets it close to the 23-yard line, a gain of about 3. It'll set up 3rd down and 2, but Alvarado does not have to deviate from their game plan with 7:20 to play in the game.
They don't. The problem is, Pete, there's 7:20 left in the game. And in order to lengthen this ball game, they've got to go to the air.
They may not want to lengthen it, though.
We'll see.
Their dream may be to go on a 7-minute touchdown drive right here. I formation. Hardy the fullback and Onderdonk the tailback. A whistle stops playing. It looks like Chapel Hill has called another timeout here. Chapel Hill will be down to their final timeout. Let's check in with Mike Stern on the Bulldogs bench.
Chapel Hill head coach Thomas Sitton. I was watching him. He saw something. His defensive backs were signaling to him. They were very, very confused. He called a timeout. This is a huge, huge play. Chapel Hill wants to get the ball back from Alvarado. They want to get the ball back. They want to kill the clock, and they want to keep the defense for Alvarado on the field. They'd also like to tack on some more points, but they don't want their defense staying on the field. They don't want to give up a long drive here that could result in a touchdown or a field goal, which would put Alvarado in front. Back up to you.
So the Indians facing 3rd down and 3 with the football at their own 23. They're staying on schedule here. They can go to the ground game here.
Yeah, they can at this point. Probably the problem they have here, they absolutely have got to pick up this first down. They've got to find a way to come up with 3 yards. These have been 3 very hard yards so far in this game. You would think they could just run a lead draw or something like that with Onderdonk, give it to him, maybe a powering fullback, but the defensive line for this Chapel Hill team has been so tough. The 3 has not been a gimme up the middle tonight.
Alvarado is 2 of 9 on 3rd down, but they're 2 of 3 on 4th down tonight. At the 23-yard line, the Indians come to the line of scrimmage, sending Bates out wide to the left side. They got a tight end on the right side. West takes the snap, pitch to Onderdonk. Hardy the lead blocker. Onderdonk fighting, and the ball came out. The ball came out at the 25-yard line, and the Bulldogs have recovered a fumble. Chapel Hill has it 1st and 10 at the Alvarado 25. Onderdonk, not a fumbler by any stretch of the imagination, coughs it up on 3rd and 3.
Not a fumbler. How about 3 fumbles in 324 carries coming into the game? Problem he had there, it wasn't the fumble that was the initial problem. The initial problem was having to stretch out on 2nd and 3rd effort. Had he gotten a block there at the point of attack, he wouldn't have had to do that, but he knew how important that 3rd down was.
Now the pressure's on the Indians defense, or do you go with the strategy that you just let Chapel Hill score so you can get the ball back?
That can't possibly be a strategy right here.
The Bulldogs will go with the ground game. And Alvarado will stuff them at the line of scrimmage.
That's a real good play too. You know, it's tough sometimes for defense to get up after the offense has turned it over deep in their own territory, but this is a huge game, and Alvarado knows, you know, this is anybody's game, even though they're down by a point, and now all of a sudden the time is working against them.
Yeah, and Chapel Hill can just drain the clock now, just over 6 minutes to play. A high snap, handoff to Tucker, running around the right side.
Great play.
And they force Tucker out of bounds. Tucker goes out of bounds around the 20-yard line.
Ronald Thomas just made a tremendous play there on the edge, not only to knock him out of bounds, but just to get to him.
Stopping the clock with 6:09, and you talk about a huge play in a state championship game. Here it is, midway through the 4th quarter. Chapel Hill leading by a point. They got it 3rd and 6 at the 20-yard line. They've already missed a 27-yard field goal in this game.
Pete, I would be shocked to see this ball go into the air here.
Signs is lining up in a shotgun formation, sending Allen in motion to the right side. Signs gets the snap, drops back to pass. Here's pressure from the backside. Signs will throw it away, incomplete, stopping the clock again. What a great defensive stand by the Indians. Now the Bulldogs have a decision. Do they kick or do they go for it on 4th and 5 at the 20-yard line?
Well, that's a decision only a coach can make. A coach is with his personnel every day of the year. He knows what they can do. He knows what they should do.
Sounds like an analyst trying to weasel out. Do you go for it on 4th down or do you kick a field goal here?
Pete, I'm looking behind me. There's a big long tail. It looks like they're going to go for it.
Signs Stays on the field. Will take a shotgun snap. 2 receivers on each side. Throwing toward the end zone. Throws it away. The pass is incomplete. It's turned over on downs. And that fumble does not cost Alvarado. And what a job by the Indian defense, particularly on 1st and 2nd down.
It was a real good job, Pete. You know, they didn't create a turnover, but they did because they forced them to turn it over on downs. We've noted that this team has forced 3 turnovers a game. They have yet to get one tonight, but that's almost as good as one.
So the Indians get it back almost where they turned it over. They're at their own 20. 1st and 10 for Alvarado. What they have lost is precious time. Only 5:56 remaining now. West under center. Play action. Drops back to pass on 1st down. Throws it away to the left side. He did not have a receiver anywhere in the area. The Bulldogs are going to be calling for grounding, but there is no flag.
Well, he threw it out of bounds, and of course he threw it way past the line of scrimmage, but on the backside on the play action.
But he wasn't out of the pocket.
No, he wasn't. He had Ellinger on a backside post, but he was being double covered. He had nobody to throw it to. It's a great job by West to get rid of it.
I think Bulldog fans have a beef, though.
An officiating crew will not make that call at this stage of this game.
Pinkerton is out wide to the left side. Ellinger is to the right. Play action again on 2nd and 10. West wanting to go long, deep down the middle. He's thrown it up for grabs, and it's intercepted at the 45-yard line. Avery Henderson picks it off, and Henderson returns it back to the 20-yard line.
For as much that has been made about Kenny West taking care of the football and not forcing and being poised, none of that took place on that play. There were 3 guys waiting on that football. Nobody was open. I'm really surprised to see him even throw it.
Trying to force it to Ellinger through a punt. There was a penalty marker thrown after the return or during the return, I should say, for an illegal block in the back. And that will push the Bulldogs back to their own 41-yard line. Still, they have it 1st and 10, leading by a point with 5:38 to play in the game. Avery Henderson is the hero of the moment. Avery Signs is in at quarterback, sending Trey Allen in motion to the right side. Signs will hand off, and running up the middle for Chapel Hill is Rex Rollins.
And this is where not having to play both ways really helps out a team. Alvarado still playing with energy. They're still flowing to the football very well. Some teams would give up 8-9 yards per pop. That's a nice play on 1st down defensively.
Rollins picks up 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Joseph Clark coming into the game for the Bulldogs. Winding down toward the 5-minute mark in the 4th quarter. Allen goes in motion to the left side. Inside handoff. Clark finds a little bit of running room up the middle. Gets close to the 33-yard line. Still going to be shy of a 1st down. About 3rd and 5 coming up here for the Bulldogs.
While this Bulldog team has been somewhat of a gambling Chapel Hill team tonight, I think this is the point where Coach Thomas Sitton says, you know what, we're going to try to let our defense win us the state championship at this point. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them just keep this thing on the ground here on the 3rd and 4. But we'll see.
Robinson is out wide to the right side for the Bulldogs. Signs runs it himself, and a quarterback keeper gets around the corner on the right side and goes out of bounds at the 21-yard line. It is a 1st down for the Bulldogs, but you'd like to see Signs stay inbounds and keep the clock rolling if you're a Bulldog fan.
He hasn't made many mistakes. He was just happy to get that 1st down. He did a real good job of bouncing it to the outside. There was no way that Chapel Hill was going to throw the ball in that situation. They just want to run this clock.
1st down and 10 at the 21. Chapel Hill getting back to the point in the field where they turned it over on downs a moment ago. But 2 4th quarter turnovers have hurt the Alvarado Indians' chances. No running room that time for Clark. Villarreal is there to make the tackle. Less than 4 minutes remaining in the Class 3A Division I state championship game.
Nice play by Villarreal. He is quite the inside linebacker. Again, a converted safety.
Had 175 tackles coming into the game tonight.
He had 19 in a playoff game 2 weeks ago. He's not that big, but he's real quick, sure-handed, a sure tackler. If he gets to you and puts a hand on you, he's going to bring you down.
2nd down and 10 for the Bulldogs. Signs a little bit surprised by the snap, tucks it away. He'll run, and Bates will bring him down. It's an ankle tackle made at the 23-yard line. It's a loss on the play.
And you called it. That's a busted play. He was surprised to get the snap. The center, I think, might have heard something else. It's gotten very loud in Cowboy Stadium, and you know it's got to be tough for some of these centers and quarterbacks to be able to communicate out of the shotgun. They're certainly not used to 20,000 being here.
Well, we've seen some premature snaps in this building.
Yeah.
There's nothing new about that.
No, that's true too. Usually Al Michaels knows calling the action.
It'll be 3rd down and 11 coming up for the Bulldogs, who lead by a point, 20-19. 2:44 remaining in the season for Alvarado and Chapel Hill.
Play clock hit 0.
In at quarterback was Anthony Kincaid. They had split signs out wide to the left side. Delay of the game.
Some might be wondering, well, what are you talking about? What do you mean they split the quarterback out and put Kincaid, a wide receiver, there at quarterback? Remember, it was Kincaid that started 6 straight games when the starting quarterback, Avery Sines, had ended up breaking his fibula earlier this year. And Kincaid played so well, many feel as though he should be the district MVP in 17-3A.
3rd down and 17. A senior-laden squad of Bulldogs who saw the state championship slip through their fingers a year ago, trying to secure a title tonight. They will take their final timeout with 2:38 to play in the game, leading 20-19.
You know, as I'm thinking about this scenario, Pete, I'm thinking 2:38 to go. It's 3rd down and 15. You know, you're really concerned about Alvarado having timeouts. Chapel Hill has no timeouts left. Most conservative coaches would go ahead and keep this ball on the ground and make Alvarado burn a timeout. And then on a 4th down, then you've got a decision to make, depending on how many yards you get on a 3rd down. You just send the place kicker out. Most coaches would probably say no. That you go ahead and maybe you run a draw on a 4th down, be conservative, let your defense win it. But we'll see.
Third and 17 facing the Bulldogs. Their lead is 1.
That's where the strategy sometimes it becomes skewed level to level. It's almost somewhat unpredictable, particularly the lower you go as to what a team will do.
They stay in that same formation with Kincaid taking the snap and Sign split out wide to the left side. Kincaid will run, taking off to the right. Cuts back inside. He's going to be tackled short of a 1st down.
Now Alvarado has burned the first of 2 timeouts that they had left, so they'll have 1 to go. You've got 2.5. I'm not certain the kind of place kicker that Chapel Hill has, but it's not uncommon for a high school place kicker to kick a 40, 41-yard field goal.
Ronald Thomas and Kenneth Adams in on that tackle, but we saw Chapel Hill and Tyler Brown miss a 27-yarder just before halftime.
Yeah, they did. They missed on that. So they at least shows that they have a certain level of confidence in their place kicker. If they kick the field goal here, it would almost ensure a victory, barring some major mishap, as well as Chapel Hill's defense has played tonight.
4th and 13 coming up for the Bulldogs.
So really the question is, do you go for the kill here and make it a 4-point game, or do you sit on it knowing a field goal can beat you on defense?
The Questions being pondered on both sidelines.
I would say there's a 75% chance that they just sit on it and they don't chance a kick being blocked.
I don't think they'll risk the kick, and we see the offense coming back on the field now. I think the kick is too risky.
Yeah, most wouldn't.
Two receivers right, one to the left. Signs takes the snap, play action, stands tall in the pocket, flushed out to the right side, throws under pressure, incomplete, turns the ball over on downs, and the Indians still have life, but not a lot of time. 2:26 remaining.
Two straight turnovers on downs forced by this Alvarado defense. That was what was touted coming into the game, how strong Alvarado was on defense, and to do what they've done at this stage is really commendable.
Their defense was rattled early in this game as Chapel Hill went on two convincing drives to open the game and took a 13-0 lead, just as Henderson did on Chapel Hill last year. And the Bulldogs admitted, hey, we were a little bit overwhelmed by our surroundings last year. You wonder if that didn't happen to the Indians tonight.
Boy, how about this crowd?
Can they overcome it in the final 2:26? West ready to take a shotgun snap with Hardy to his left. Underdog to his right. Flags down for a false start against the Indians.
Somebody moved, and I think had the ball been snapped immediately, I don't think the head linesman would have pulled out the hanky.
It'll remain 1st and 15 now for the Alvarado Indians. Push back to their own 19-yard line.
Well, that is an extreme rarity in this game.
It's hard to imagine they could go on a drive without a long Kenny West pass year. He threw an interception the last time he put it in the air. He's back to pass. Kenny West throwing deep down the middle again. He's got a man open, and the catch is made at the 35-yard line. It is ruled a catch. It came out after Tyler Bates was already down. A 45-yard completion into Bulldog territory.
West tried to do that earlier. He forced it into traffic, came up with a rare interception, and that time he goes deep in single coverage, and Bates gets paid to do that figuratively. Yeah, the money was on the table, and he grabbed it.
Devin Dean was there in coverage, but that was just a spectacular play by Bates. West runs a draw to Underdog. He's got running room up the middle. Underdog to the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Indians.
Pete Underdog runs the draw, but it was West that sold it. What a tremendous job by the entire offense to sell that draw. He says, finally, I've got some breathing room up the middle. And it comes in the form of a draw, and now it's an Alvarado team that has a chance to go for the jugular.
West back to pass after that 18-yard gain. Completes the pass on the left side. The ball came out. The ball is fumbled, and Chapel Hill has recovered. Heartbreak for the Alvarado Indians.
And jubilation on a Chapel Hill sideline.
Austin Ellinger made the catch, but then coughed it up, and Wesley Thompson stripped the ball and then recovered the fumble for the Tyler Chapel Hill Bulldogs. Underdog may finish the season 4 yards shy of 3,000 yards rushing.
Pete, I didn't see Ellinger. I don't know if we could get a close-up, but he had been playing with a cast earlier this year. In fact, he made 2 touchdown catches with a cast. And I don't know if he's still wearing that, but boy, that is unbelievable. And
I just think Wesley Thompson just made a great play, stripping the ball away. Signs will hand off to Tucker. Villarreal is there to make the tackle. We're down to the final 90 seconds of the season. Chapel Hill leads Alvarado 20-19.
Well, Alvarado can only stop it one more time. They have 1 timeout.
Wesley Thompson, just a sophomore, makes the play of the game that may have secured a state championship for the Chapel Hill Bulldogs.
That was a terrific play. And as a coach, you feel for a guy like Ellinger because you know that will be eating at him for a long time.
Tucker runs right. Tucker goes down inbounds. Clock keeps running down to 56 seconds. And Alvarado may opt to use their final timeout right here. Let's check in with Mike Stern.
Well, that defensive line, that defense for Chapel Hill saved the day. One of the stalwarts along that defensive line is Sir Calvin Wallace. That's his name, Sir Calvin Wallace. His mom named him Sir so that people would treat him with respect. And why not? The defensive coaches say, sir, make the stop. Sir, make the rush. Sir, help lead the defense. And that's exactly what he did. He was not involved in the tackle. He was near the tackle. He did not recover a football, but his tremendous spirit helped the team stave off a touchdown drive. Just another part of the great story on the road to the 3A championship. Back to you.
A guy that big, I say yes, sir, no, sir, all the time. He's had a heck of a game tonight. Another one of the seniors on the Bulldog team that was here a year ago. And they lost a heartbreaker to Henderson, a neighborhood rival. Signs takes the snap. They'll run it and run more time off the clock as they hand off to Rex Rollins.
And the coaching staff, they all grabbed their hearts because Rollins wasn't covering up the ball with two hands, and they're going to cover up the ball. Ball security.
Indians trying to strip it away just as it was taken away from them moments ago when Wesley Thompson reached in and stripped the ball away from Austin Ellinger, ending the Indians' potential go-ahead touchdown drive here late in the fourth quarter. There's the trophy that Chapel Hill was unable to hold aloft last season. It appears that that trophy is headed to Tyler in their trophy case in 12 seconds. All they have to do now is kneel on the ball.
Well,
it's fourth down. It's fourth down, so
this is interesting because
yeah.
Alvarado doesn't have a timeout.
They can't. They don't have the option of taking a safety because they only lead by one.
Exactly. So you have to punt, and one of the better parts of Alvarado's game tonight has been the return game.
Oh, this is a safety could win the game for Alvarado. And how many times have we seen a snap at this level sail over a punter's head? That's a great snap, and the punt is away. That's excellent execution. The return is going sideways for Bates, and he's running out of time. If he doesn't go all the way, the Indians lose. He doesn't go all the way, and Tyler Chapel Hill celebrates a state championship at Cowboy Stadium. They throw the party they thought they were going to get to have 1 year ago. They narrowly defeat Alvarado 20-19, and they do it by forcing turnovers in the fourth quarter. Their defense wins the game. This year, it's the Alvarado Indians who go home heartsick. What a fabulous Class 3A Division I state championship game. What a show these young men put on for us tonight.
It was a great show. It didn't start out like it was going to be, but boy, it certainly materialized into one of the better games that we have seen the entire year. What a great effort by both of these two teams. It was a 13-0 game early on, and Alvarado, they got back into it, and they fought the entire way. Both of these two programs have done an awesome job.
It came down to the last play of the game, and I cannot tell you, how clutch of a punt that was. The deep snapper delivered, and the punter got the kick out. Let's check in with Mike Stern.
Coach, congratulations on the championship. I know this is a very emotional moment. A lot of things going through your head. Talk about what your defense did to preserve this victory.
I'm just so proud of our kids all year. You know, last year we came down here and got beaten this thing, and
We worked our butts off so hard this year and got into the playoffs and barely made those last 3 just to get lucky enough to get here. And I'm just extremely happy, so proud of our defense. I'm proud of our offense. I'm proud of our kicking game. We've got a great group of kids at Chapel Hill. We've got a great school district. We've got the best fans in the whole world. And we're just so excited right now. I really, it's hard to talk right now, I can tell you that.
I know, Coach. You know, a little bit of adversity in this ball game. Second half, they were coming back, and yet on that sideline, those kids never hung their heads. You never hung your head. I think the spirit is what helped you win this football game.
I'm telling you, our kids have heart. They believe in each other. They trust in each other. They trust in us. They love each other. They love playing the game of football. And they just always seem to find a way. They don't panic. They keep on believing. They keep working. And we're just so happy. I'm telling you, I can't even describe the word happy right now.
We can see them. And one more question, Coach.
Yes.
What's the next week going to be like for in your life?
Hell, it's going to be great. I'm telling you, to end this way with that group of seniors that has fought hard for 3 strong years, and it's going to be great. I'm telling you, it's great for our program. It's great for all our fans and our community, and we're just so proud and we love them so much.
Congratulations on a great season and a championship, Coach.
Thank you.
Back to you. Back to you upstairs.
Thanks a lot, Thomas Sitton, head coach of the state champion Chapel Hill Bulldogs. Avery Signs, the quarterback of Chapel Hill, is going to be the most valuable player of this game. Avery Signs is the offensive MVP. The defensive MVP is Avery Henderson, who had that interception return. What a football game. And you have to feel good for the Chapel Hill Bulldogs. As you see, a lot of the parents are down on the field hugging the players. And it's a real family atmosphere. And you feel great for Chapel Hill, but man, your heart goes out to those kids from Alvarado. And they feel almost exactly the way that Chapel Hill did a year ago, in that how would this game have been different if they had gotten off to a better start, if they had not fallen behind 13-0. They seem to be a little bit like Chapel Hill last year, maybe a little awed by their surroundings in the first 12 minutes of this game.
You know, and I go back to what you and I had talked about earlier this year, Pete, and that football is a game of mistakes, and who can make the fewest as the game comes down to the wire. And I look back and I look at that play where Austin Ellinger fumbled the ball deep in Chapel Hill territory. And some people are going to look at that and say, you know, that's what cost us the game, when in essence it really isn't. That so many things led up to that. Ellinger should not have the weight of this game on his shoulders.
Let's check in with John Nelson, who's standing by with the MVP.
Avery Signs, Merry Christmas 2 weeks early.
Thank you.
Your long touchdown pass to Wawusu in the second half. Talk about that play.
Coach drew up a play that was working against our defense. It was a good call, good blocking. We executed the play and got the good result that we wanted.
You came close last year against Henderson. What does this say about the seniors?
That we have heart, and we give all thanks to God and our community for believing in us, and we just want to thank everybody.
How emotional was it for you? Turnover, then a missed field goal, then another fumble, then an interception. What did you think about the interception from Avery?
I think it was a great play. He's a great athlete, as well as the rest of the players on my team. I'd like to thank all of my teammates and our community for being behind us. And, I mean, we're bringing the state championship home.
And finally, talk about the community. You made the trip here last year. Little different feeling this year.
How can I say it? We were ready this time. Last year, had the jitters. I mean, we weren't just 100% focused how we needed to be going into it. This year, we knew where we needed to be, and we executed. I mean, it wasn't the prettiest game, but we got it done.
Avery, congratulations.
Thank you.
John Nelson, you'll hear momentarily, visit with Avery Henderson, who was the defensive MVP of this game for Chapel Hill. And those two guys have been singled out, but this was a real team effort. And I thought that Thomas Sinton hit on that when he talked about he was proud of his defense, and I think his defense probably did win this game for him, but he was also proud of his offense. And I can't get over, special teams won this game when they got that punt out under pressure. Not that easy to do at this level. We talked all year about how at this level, you just don't have a lot of time to work on special teams, but under pressure, their special teams really came through.
Yeah, it's so hard to manage practice where you're getting in the necessary time to polish out some of those special teams plays for every team, not just for Chapel Hill, but for every team. For them to be able to do that deep snapper, I guarantee you somebody went over there and said, man, what a great job just getting that ball snapped.
The trophy presentation being made down here on the field at Cowboy Stadium. Look at that smile on Avery Henderson's face. You think that young man's not happy?
Man.
This is why, as Bill Parcells said, this is why you lift all those weights. This is why you do all that stuff.
You know, everybody always says that, you know, football is a cold weather sport, but for 10, 12 weeks of the season, it's so hot when you go out to practice and you go to games, and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears shed on, you know, on every sideline. But when you win it like this, it really it just wipes all of that stuff away, and you just remember the good times.
Boy, you're right. And this past August, these guys were going out in 105, 106 degree weather, and this is what they were dreaming of, is being inside this stadium on a cold night in December. And for Chapel Hill, this time coming away with the trophy that eluded them last year. And the Bulldogs get another chance. As Coach Sinton mentioned, they had some real scares in the playoffs. They beat West Columbia 21-16. They were within a few seconds of not even making it here. Navasota they beat by 10, 56-46. They beat Waco La Vega 27-20. So they narrowly defeated some of their playoff opponents, and they win this one by the narrowest of margins, 20-19. Let's go back downstairs to John Nelson.
All right, Pete, we're with the defensive MVP, Avery Henderson. Avery, what an emotional fourth quarter that had to be for you.
Man, so many emotions going through my head, through my mind. It feels good to win with your brothers. Growing up, you know, you dream about these type of games. You don't want it easy, and that's what makes us men. So we glad that we came out and took care of business, and man, I'm just loving my team right now.
I asked your quarterback what this means for the senior class coming up a little short last year to Henderson. What does it mean as a senior this year?
Man, ever since we was in the 7th grade, we dreamed about playing together in the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. You know, last year we came up short, and that taste's been in our mouth ever since 365 days ago. And we wanted to come out today and just be number one, be on top.
What a Christmas present now to be known as a state champion.
Yes, sir. That's the only gift I wanted. I didn't want no money. I didn't want no toys. You know, I'm 18. I'm a senior now. I don't want no toys. I want me some diamonds on my fingers.
You got it. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, that seems like a young man that you'd like to spend some time with. And what a happy young man he is. And Avery Henderson, the defensive MVP of this game. Avery signs the offensive MVP. The Chapel Hill Bulldogs, the District 17 3A champions. They went through the entire year undefeated. They finished 15-0. Alvarado finishes 14-1. You can't imagine losing the state championship game by 1 point.
No, you can't. And there's something to be said about losing a game like this. Vince Lombardi said there's nothing like building character and nothing like learning from a loss. And, you know, it's tough to take right now, but Alvarado is going to benefit just as much from this ball game as Chapel Hill will have benefited. There's no doubt about it. So many lessons learned. And I like what the gentleman just said in our last interview about makers of men. That's why they're playing this. That's why the school system has athletics ingrained in it, because it's not about winning and losing football games and state championships. It's learning how to produce when there's all kinds of intense pressure. How are you going to react? Sports is such a metaphor for life, and it's just awesome to see all of these athletes get the praise and the recognition that they deserve just by being here.
Andrew Tucker, who you see there holding the trophy, had 85 yards on 20 carries. Avery Signs finished 9 of 17 for 118 yards with 2 touchdowns. Nelson Onwuzu, 3 catches for 62 yards, including a 55-yard touchdown reception for Chapel Hill. Wayne Underdog, the leading rusher for Alvarado, and the leading rusher in the game, had 109 yards on 19 carries with 2 touchdowns. He also had a fumble in the game. Kenny West was 8 of 14 for 144 yards with a touchdown. He was sacked 3 times. Tyler Bates caught 3 passes for 75 yards. Ellinger had 2 catches for 11 yards and a fumble. Jake Gio caught a 39-yard touchdown pass, the first touchdown of the game for Alvarado after they had fallen behind 13-0 and rallied to tie it at 13. A failed 2-point conversion by Alvarado means Tyler Chapel Hill gets to hold that trophy and celebrate a state championship. The game was decided by the narrowest of margins. Our thanks go to both coaching staffs who did a great job in helping us prepare for this broadcast. Also thanks to our entire crew tonight in our final football game of the season. That's the only sad note, is that we've got to wait now 10 months before we get a chance to do another football game, but it'll be here before you know it. Special thanks to our director, Rob Davis, and all of his help in helping us put these broadcasts together as well. And Scott, it's been so much fun working with you all season long.
Well, it's been fun working with you too, Pete, and I'll tell you that, you know, Rob Davis and the crew does such an incredible job. I mean, it's just a massive undertaking to produce a broadcast like this, and you know, I'm lucky enough that they invite me to come in here and talk football, but it's really it's a great job by Time Warner. I'm thrilled and privileged to be able to be here.
I hope you guys had half as much fun as we did bringing it to you. Congratulations to Chapel Hill, your Class 3A Division I state champion, after a 20-19 win over Alvarado at Cowboy Stadium in Arlington, Texas.